Well, good evening, race fans, and a very warm welcome to a special event tonight here at the Aero League Racing Championship. This is extra to the championship. We're about to get underway for our race around the Bathurst circuit. We're going to go for a rolling start here with all of our drivers, who I will take you through. Of course, they have qualified for this race, and RDO took the pole position. There will be a rolling start as they head towards the start of this 500-kilometer race, 80 laps underway, and RDO will take the green flag and get us underway indeed as he fires the throttle towards Hell Corner, turn number 1. A little sniff of the inside there from Renault King, as it looked like RDO a little bit struggling for grip initially. Bear with me while I quickly exit the screen and come back to us so we can get a good camera angle for us. Here we go then, Renault King on the outside as they climb up this beautiful Mount Panorama and head towards what is the Griffin's Bend, turn number 2. We've got a bit of side-by-side action going on further back in the pack as they are already starting to rub door handles and trade paint on the way up this hill and straight into. Now we're heading into the Frog Hollow, turns 8 and 9. Renault King in second, hanging on against Lego King, and like I say, I will take you through all of the details of the race very, very soon. But let's get us underway. We're likely to see plenty of action on this first lap as Lego Man in third there rubs the wall. He needs to avoid dragging too much by way of speed scraping going on. I'll say hello to everybody as well shortly, and thank you for everyone who's already tuned in. And Lego Man already on the going down the dipper has already had an issue dropping down the order, and that is very much not going according to plan for Lego Man. So down the order he goes, and we'll go back up towards the front, the sharp end of our grid as they come through Forest Elbow, turn 18 into turn 19, and the long Conrod straight hitting VMAX. Of course, there the yellow chevron sign indicating where they will take penalties if they are awarded, and you'll see that on the screen as well. But RDO with a beautiful start after he exited turn 1 at least, and managing to hold off Renault King at this stage as well. Renault King struggling a little bit to get us a competitive run for first place, but we have got a long way to go. So I'm not going to get too excited too early on, I promise. And we'll talk about these beautiful liveries as well shortly. We will enjoy this one. Well, hello to everybody who has joined us already. Welcome to anyone joining us as I speak. We've got PS Manic, Mitch Oakley already here, and looking forward to already here and talking. Do drop in your name and tell us who you're here to support, and how much you plan to give or already have given to our charity tonight. Renault King then up into the Hell Corner now, trying to fight off Absimo. I'm going to go with Absimo here, who is in the black and light blue livery car. We've got behind him Iggy, one of the strong favourites for tonight there, racing in the Alfa Romeo. A look at the inside as they head towards Frog Hollow, and Renault King is round. Renault King spinning round. There you can see him right across the racetrack. He needs to get out of trouble. He's hit the back of the car into the barrier. He's waiting for a good time to rejoin, and you can see that's very sporting of him, but he's already dropped all the way down behind Lego Man. There won't be need for a huge amount of panic in the cockpit, but a little bit of contact there between Abimo and our erstwhile second place runner Renault King. RDO continues to lead this race then, now by 3.2 seconds ahead of Abimo and Iggy, who's creeping forward, but mostly due to the misfortune of other drivers. So that is already, as I say, some issues on track. The drivers have been able to create their own liveries here tonight as well. And now you can see Abimo racing from the United States, and we've got a British, US and then Austrian nations being represented here. beautifully across. Let's just have a look at what the other drivers are up to. This is the Lamborghini here of Andy Winters, racing currently in 4th, holding off Pyro from Jay O'Leary, and then Little Sheepy behind with S Boomer behind him. So 4th place Lamborghini struggling here for grip at the moment relative to Pyro. Lamborghini on medium tyres. Pyro has a look at the inside into Hell Corner, turn number 1. Doesn't find a way through. He's on the hard tyres and he's already got a bit more speed than the car in front. Let me talk about tyres while we're here. They have to use all 3 compounds. They must use the soft tyre and every tyre for at least 10 of our 80 laps, and beyond that there are no further restrictions. You can obviously manage to eke your tyres and fuel out by driving style alone, and Pyro up the inside, a little bit of contact, no damage caused. Andy Winters just struggling now to get the Lamborghini down into the corner without hitting the back of Pyro, but there we have Pyro then up into the white and black livery car there, up into 4th place and moving forward already. Andy Winters just heading through a Frog Hollow and turn 10 before looking at the difficult braking point next for the Skyline through the S's and the Big Dipper. They go round the corner. Of course, it's broad daylight, great racing conditions for our drivers, but there will be a simulated day, so we will be going into the night as well in a little bit longer. Now, we must say, my name is Webbo, and we don't have to say that, but I'm going to say that. My name is Webbo, here to take you through tonight's racing. And of course, we are here for the Mind charity, and more about them later, as Andy Winters in 5th place looks to try and get this place back, trying to use the top speed of the Lamborghini here. Manages to draw alongside. He's got the inside line, however it's only a very gentle right-hand turn, because the inside line next coming into the chase is on the other side of the circuit. Andy Winters survives, manages to prosper, get past Pyro, and up he goes then. He's just got Murray's Corner left before starting his 4th lap here of 80. We're anticipating a race time of around 2.5 hours, with a full day simulated if we can get there over the course of proceedings tonight. Andy Winters in 4th. We've got Pyro in 5th. Little Sheepy there in 6th place. The light blue and white colour schemes are popular. Reminds me of kind of racing Silverline touring car liveries. This one here from Little Sheepy. Ross Thorne just behind him in the Aston Martin there. Beautiful British racing green, of course, in the Aston Martin, as you would expect. Jay O'Leary has got a pink, almost PlayStation-like with star-spangled roof with mind.org.uk across the banner at the top. Legoman in 9th place then on the tail of this group. He's on the medium tyres, just like the car in front of him as well. And then further back in the order, a little bit of a gap now down to S Boomer there in 10th. Another one of our, get this right, he's actually in the Jaguar, beautiful yellow stripe across it. Reaper Dude in 11th. He's in the McLaren, and we've got Legomen then already down into 12th place. Probably going to struggle for handling in that Bugatti. That is an absolute beast. It's a handful around these tricky turns, but once you get down the Conrod Straight and up the mountain straight, it is absolutely glorious and has the highest top speed of tonight's racing. Next up then, Bo 2603. I'll call him Bo from now on, in the black and pink. We've got in the Mercedes there, beautiful beautiful paint job on Major's car. He's in the Mercedes, and he is on hard tyres, so just putting in the laps at the moment on those hard tyres. Brenner King down into 15th on the last as things stand, but getting a personal best time in that sector at the moment. Audio is the leader of our race, as he has been from the start, from qualifying, of course, and he's in the McLaren 650S. Looks to be a well-favoured car here already at this early stage. He's on racing soft tyres just to help him get some track distance away from the drivers behind him. But Abimo not letting him get a huge distance away. In fact, now starting to reeling him in on the same tyres. So they need to sort of work out a way to cooperate with each other and not get bogged down in a fight, because it will only hurt them later on. Iggy, though, in the pound seats here, 6 seconds off the lead, but on the medium tyres. So it will be a bit of a surprise to me. It'd be fun to find out how far and deep these drivers can go on their sets of tyres. We'll keep an eye on it, of course, but they're Iggy in third place as is in the Tricolore livery car. I'm missing a few comments, I think, so do drop into the comments and say hello. I just want to make sure I catch everybody's comments tonight. Make sure as well, of course, this is a charity stream, so any revenue generated from the stream itself, as well as any revenue generated by donations tonight, will go to the Mind charity. And of course, I won't be charging a fee myself tonight either. That will be just here for the stream for this Mind charity, who do some excellent work here in the UK. It is a mental health charity, and we would really like you guys to donate tonight. So please, for the first time of asking, we want to make sure that you can donate, and that will be justgiving.com/ALR-Bathurst-500. That won't be the first time I say that tonight, but you can also follow us on Twitter, and that is Aero League Racing, and myself at WebORed5, where you'll also find the links for the donations. Should be in the title of this video on Twitch as well. Shouldn't be too difficult to find for you. Anyway, we've got the top four, and I'll talk a little bit about our fundraising targets and plans later on tonight, and I will be keeping an eye on those donations as well. And if you would like a shout out, do say so, and I will say hello, of course. Hello to Brennians13, who joins us, and he says good luck everybody. Well, that's very sporting of you, but I am interested who you're here to support specifically, or who you fancy for a podium tonight. This is just very early days in our long race tonight. Pyro in fifth here on the hard tyres. I think Andy Winter's also on the medium, so it is softs on the front two, mediums on third and fourth places, and then Pyro and Rostorm are Pyro's on the hards. Rostorm is actually on the soft tyres, already burning through those soft tyres. And remember, the minimum usage of those softs will be 10 laps. Now, in a long race like this, driving style for engine and petrol management and the tyre management will stretch out the differences between our drivers. They're on 2 times tyre wear, and at the moment we are watching a battle just starting to heat up here for Rostorm versus Pyro for that 5th place. He's car number 7. It looks like almost like 7 Up. I don't know if that's deliberate on the green background, but there he goes into into the dipper through the S's before. Got to really nail this forest elbow just right, just so, to get your exit planted. He's got a good line into the corner here, has Ross. You can see the difference between the soft and the hard tyres as Pyro starts to start putting the squeeze on the inside. Rostorm bouncing across the grass, little tufts of grass kicked up here. He's got a great position, has Rostorm. Seems to be struggling slightly for top speed, but it looks like maybe 1 or 2 miles an hour extra here from Pyro. You didn't get any slipstream whatsoever. They go side by side then as they head then down towards Murray's corner. Oh, and there's contact. Rostorm spinning across the gravel. He'd be very grateful there's a gravel trap just right there, and both of them struggling, both of them putting a little bit too much heat into the battle so early on into our race. And that's now 4 cars disappearing down the order. There you can see Renault King, who was in 2nd place, back up to 11th in the Bugatti. Sorry, Renault King is in that purple and yellow and white liveried Viper. It's actually, is it Reaper Dude who's sitting there in the Bugatti? Yes, it is. Reaper Dude fighting alongside with Major here. This is for 14th place. Reaper Dude gets the inside. There's a little bit of contact once again. just misplacing the cars on the way through the corner. And that's good stuff. Good to see that Brilliant is supporting Pyro. Simon K, I appreciate the welcome back. And he's cheering on Brian Ross, Renault and Pyro. Good stuff. Excellent. There's a little bit of a fight going on into the Griffin's Bend at the moment. That is Pyro up there against Bo. And it's Bo who's ahead. Bo's got ahead and he's slipping just round the outside of a difficult cutting corner. Now they're into the quarry. And things are starting to even out slightly. Now you've got Lego Man in the Bugatti following behind. Very similar liveries. Of course, the drivers had free choice of livery, but obviously the pale blue on-brand livery colour scheme of mine has inspired the drivers to go quite a similar way, many of them. There are very subtle and great differences between them, though. Pyro heading back down the mountain, and this really is an incredibly difficult run. Let's have a look on board, see how close, tight those barriers are. This is just the tail end of a very difficult section, and back out then onto the Comrade Straight after coming out of Forest Elbow. This is heading due north, and there's a little bit of a crest here, but nothing too much to worry about. Does suck some of the top speed out of the cars. Just behind them, we've got Lego Man in the Bugatti, and we've got Jay O'Leary, who is, I thought he was going to draw alongside, but he was almost alongside coming out of Forest Elbow. And then, of course, the top speed of Lego Man's Bugatti really paying dividends down that straight. But, of course, he's going to suffer all the way at the highest point of the circuit here. The highest point is 862 metres above sea level, and the lowest point 174 metres below that, and with a steepest gradient of 1 in 6 as they come down from the peak of the mountain here. We'll get an idea on board Jay O'Leary at that difference in top speed as Lego Man just driving away from him here, despite the slipstream. So there's nothing he can do until he gets to the turns here. Now into the Griffin's Bend. You can go into this corner a lot faster than it looks because it is a blind corner. You can't see around it, but the car will get hooked up into the camber, and it will help you up there, especially though you're also heading uphill, and that's another reason you can enter a little bit quicker than you would a flat corner there. Manic is cheering Boomer, and Jack is here, and so far only says "Hey up," which is great, but I want to know who you're supporting. And also, guys, let me know how much you have donated for us to the Mine charity tonight. Lap 8 of 80. Let's go back down to the top of the order as RDO continues to lead this race. All 8 laps so far have been led by RDO, and we've got Abimo, I think. Absimo in second place, heading then. He's only 3.2 seconds behind, and he's got a similar gap to the car in front, 2.4 seconds to the car in front. Hopefully the Just Giving page for tonight's stream is popping up frequently, which is great. So no excuses if you can't find your way over there. Abimo then he's in on his lap 9. He's in second place. There is Iggy in third place on the medium tyres, remember, but keeping the pace with the drivers in front. I think that the best of their soft tyres is already passed, and the mediums coming into their own. However, doesn't look like he's going to get a huge amount of laps out of those medium tyres. We'll keep an eye on tyre wear, of course, and they will be able to refuel during their pit stops. It would certainly be recommended. So we'll have to keep that in mind. So if you see someone's strategy connotation that I'm not calling out, do let me know. I think the last I saw is we might be looking at about a 40 second pit penalty when you're in. And as I said before, everybody has to use all the compounds of tyre for at least 10 laps each. I imagine that the drivers will almost certainly favour using the hards here on a long run. Height and Nocturne, who tunes in with us, and good to have you with us, Nocturne. If you want a shout out or a question, or better still, talk to me about what the Mind charity means to you, and why you feel it's been chosen. Andy Winter's getting very tail happy here in the Lamborghini. It looks a real handful coming down the hill around the twisty stuff. Need to be super gentle on the throttle down here, and missing the apex a little bit, but you can understand why. You don't want to get too close to the walls. Just survive each lap. I think it is a case of, as you head down into the dipper, turns 13, 14, 15 section, that you are always in some form of doubt as to whether you will make it out unscathed. It's a little bit like an Eau Rouge situation. Always hold your breath through. Fastest lap currently is Absimo on a 2:13.501. You can see it in the left-hand side of the screen. Here we have Espuma in the Jaguar, and he is being hounded here by Legoman's fantastic rise back through the field. He was up there fighting for the podium position, but not even half the first lap was navigated safely. There he goes. Nice move around the outside there of the chase. Got that through very, very beautifully. And then just one corner left to go. Norris corner here. We've got a very tricky and windy pit entry to look at as well. He's on his lap 10 now. Of course, the leader is further up the road, some 39 seconds, as it looks like Espuma is got a little tap on the rear. Not quite. He's managed to survive that one in the Jaguar and keep fighting. Nocturne says such an important cause. It means a lot. Everyone goes through their own battles every day, and it's great that the drivers are hosting this particular stream. Well, yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I will be the first to put my hand up. Well, here comes Pyro around the outside of the corner, and he didn't complete that move. Ross Storm in no mood to give up the position at this point. I don't know if he can have visibility on the tyre choice of Pyro, but he probably didn't want to be stuck behind a hard tyre driving car at that stage. I must say, just to continue the thought I started earlier, and I will definitely hold up my hand and say that I have had dark times, and times you might not get that always from a commentator. We tend to be paid to be enthusiastic in everything, but yes, there are days where I need a little help and support, and I'm not ashamed to admit that at all. Everybody, as Nocturne said, everybody goes through tough times, and everyone's mental health is important, and if it has a nasty way of catching you out without you really noticing. Look at Pyro struggling at the moment on those hard tyres. Still not really got them down to where he would like them to be in terms of grip, and Absimo has pitted for the first time already. He's fulfilled his 10 laps, and he doesn't want to do a metre more than he has to on those tyres. So Absimo from second into the pits. Our first pit stop. He's fulfilled the minimum. RDO on the softs has stayed out. Let's keep an eye on the midfield then. Any other soft runners who decide to pit at this point? Looks like RDO able to hang on. Absimo has put on the medium tyres to run his next stint. Maybe just getting all the fast laps and fast pain out of the way. Let's see what kind of fuel load he put on. So only 3/4 of a tank of fuel, as Little Sheepy will take advantage of a very similar coloured car who is just warming up his tyres and slower out of the first corner than anybody else. So there we go. Absimo down into 5th place, stuck at the moment then behind Little Sheepy on a similar compound of tyre. Now Little Sheepy's tyre wear he's about 50% front right limited at the moment, so he may be looking to go to lap 16 to 20 on those tyres. Bo's struggling through these tricky corners in the Lexus. So let's find out, how is RDO's tyre wear looking at the moment? He's looking good. Absimo, Nocturne says, what tyres is Absimo on? He is on mediums now, started on the softs, just like RDO here, whose lead remains at 3 seconds, but it's to a different driver now. It's to Iggy, who has to be a strong favourite for the race. Iggy can see the leader in front of him, and I think will be struggling to see the car behind him in third. Andy Winters, he's on the medium tyres, the same as Iggy, so they're kind of in their own race at the moment. Andy Winters, some 9 seconds on his own as well from Little Sheepy, and Abzimo here behind. Abzimo getting the car up to speed now. Abzimo in the Mazda, Little Sheepy in the Subaru. Around they go towards the chase. You've got to get the car nice and balanced before hitting the brakes. It's very easy to get that corner wrong, and Little Sheepy just suffering a little bit there, but doing well in 5th place. Sure, pretty pleased with that one. So let me give you a little comparison then of where the drivers are relative to their starting positions. I will just get hold of my results. So Renault King and Lego, those guys who started 2nd and 3rd, currently in what are we, 7th for Lego, and we are 11th for Renault King, struggling along a little bit, but having plenty of battles. There is Renault King. That's a gloriously liveried car, I have to say. That Viper, he's cut those lines very beautifully into the work lines of the vehicle. Pyro down in 12th. Pyro started this race in 6th place, so he's obviously lost a lot of places. We saw some contact, didn't we, with Pyro earlier on. This is great stuff up the hill here from the boys. One of the reasons that Aero League Racing chose this charity today was that suicide is the leading cause of death of men under 35 in the UK. It is an absolute tragedy, but one that Mind worked tirelessly to battle against and to support people when they need it. And we ask that you give however small an amount you can to support the charity, and if you do it on our page, we would love that. But if you do it tomorrow, if you do it next week, I'm sure that Mine will still appreciate it. Better still, better than anything, would be to set up a rolling sum of money that you would be willing to give up each month. Lego man, oh dear, he won't thank me for catching that moment on stream. That is how difficult the Bugatti is to handle. He's on soft tyres, but they didn't help him. He's at the tail of the field at the moment, and I think he might be really ruining choosing the Bugatti. RDO, he is still running those tyres. He's avoided the pit lane right into the deep into the red on those tyres, and Ryan just writes an F in the chat. I'm not quite sure why. You have to help me out with that one, Ryan. But RDO there, that is Ryan, who has the channel here tonight. It's his channel we're operating on, so that if we get any affiliate funds, we can funnel that straight through to Mind as part of this campaign that we have tonight. We originally were hoping to raise in gifting. We were hoping to raise £1,000, so £2 for every kilometre race tonight. But we since were able to get an agreement from a company. I'm not sure which company it is yet. Presumably one of the drivers' companies that they work for, to match all gifts tonight. So whatever you give is doubled, thanks to a corporate sponsor. If anyone knows that corporate sponsor, do give them a shout out, and I will of course thank them in the commentary tonight. RDO then still a decent lead ahead of Iggy. It's not as much as it was, but he's doing a good job holding off. He is getting very, very tight on that front right tyre. You can see on the graphic at the bottom left of the screen at the moment. I imagine this will be a pit stop for him, and he's only used just over a quarter of a tank of fuel on the car. Let's see then, RDO, yeah, into the pits we go. Let's see what this pit lane looks like. in terms of how much room there is. Very, very tight, snaky entrance, and that's all you get to see, because Iggy is our new leader on his lap 14. Iggy takes the lead of the race thanks to the pit stop from Ardio, who is in the pits now to take the pain of getting rid of those soft tyres, but he's certainly made the most of them. Remember, he is racing at the moment Absamo, who was about 3 seconds behind him before his own pit stop. Absamo, he's gone on to the medium tyres. And Ryan says this is stressful. Iggy is really rapid. Well, talk about stress. Where is he going to come out of the pits relative to Absamo? Well, he comes out in front, but I think Absamo will have the momentum going up the mountain straight here up the hill. Ardio moves to the inside just to discourage a move there. You can see as we watch the racing, Ardio just about snuck that one, didn't he? 0.3 of a second, 0.2 of a second it drops to as they go up the hill, but no, there we go. Simon Kay saying decent first stint from Ryan, time to go long. Well, he's gone onto the medium tyres, so perhaps not as long. No, incorrect. I correct myself, he is on the hard tyres, so absolutely it is time to go long. There he is. In fact, you can see his times didn't get better from his first lap, as down the inside goes Absamo. They're fighting hammer and nail here. Absamo and Ardio come to an almost standstill. That was a little bit of a strange one. Absamo just cutting across the front, having made the overtake, and not wanting to sit behind a driver on slower tyres, but Ardio surviving, but he's lost so much time relative to Andy Winters. That gap has gone to 11 seconds and now 28 to the leader. Iggy, remember, a pit stop penalty as Ardio wags the front left in the air, thanks to the sudden change in elevation on the track. He's just getting the car warmed up now. That probably would have helped him generate a bit of tyre temperature, but he's slow coming out of Forest Elbow, and I think he's going to be on the defensive once again. Which side is he going to choose? Will it be the inside or the outside for the main next turn? The first turn is to the right, but the main braking zone is the turn to the left as they head towards the chase. Now it is nip and tuck, a dead heat between the two of them. Ardio, you can see he's got the inside line. He cuts across the circuit as he's entitled to do with the lead under the brakes, and manages to get a better braking performance on those new hard tyres than Absamo did on the mediums behind him. Ardio at one with his machine. You have to say he was struggling up the hill relative to the Mazda, but he has held on. Now, is Little Sheepy going to get involved in this battle for the third step of the podium as things stand tonight? We'll have to see. Remember, minimum requirement is that drivers do 10 laps on every tyre. So the easiest way to forget about it is to do softs and mediums in your first two stints, and then you can just run your tyres to death. But let's see what they do. I'm sure that the drivers will do more than 10 easily on the mediums when they are on them. There is Absamo then, medium tyres on his Mazda as he heads into Griffin's Bend. Lap 15 of 80. Fastest lap is with Absamo as he touches the wheel arch there of Ardio, but just holding on to position. Little Sheepy looking to snipe a move here, get a place if he can, moving around in the mirrors of Absamo. I'm not sure Absamo is spending much time looking in his mirrors. I think he's all about whatever is going on with Ardio in front and trying to get that position. This is the de facto lead effectively at the moment, given that they both started on the same tyres. Is there a touch there between Little Sheepy and Absamo? I'm not sure. It looks like Bo coming up to this group as well now, though they are slowing each other down with these battles. Now, can Ardio get out of Forest Elbow a little bit better than last time? It doesn't look like it, does it? It looks like Absamo has got a good run once again. 137, 140 miles an hour. Yeah, he has got the extra speed. Will it be enough as they head towards the chase? Ardio shapes to the inside of this corner, leaves the gap to the inside on the next, on the left-hand side. Absamo hard on the brakes, pretty sure that there was contact again, and Ardio dropping down the order I don't think he's going to be very impressed with that. He had the race going all his own way, and there is Absamo sportingly saying, yeah, hands up, governor, that was me, I did make contact. So place is given back, not just to RDO, but they've both dropped behind Little Sheepy and Bo 2603. Iggy, though, continues to lead this race all on his own on the medium tyres. Alfa Romeo, Andy Winter's Lamborghini. He started to get properly used to it now. It was a real handful, but I imagine this next sequence is going to be tricky for him on the medium tyres, as worn as they are. Certainly chewing through those tyres is Andy Winters. I think he'll be glad to get onto some hard tyres and get into a better rhythm without these problems. Drop me a note in the stream just to make sure that my live chat is working, please guys, all of you watching. We're really, really pleased that you could join us tonight. Let's go down the order then, see if we can find some battles. Little Sheepy and Bo look a little bit too far away. How is RDO and Absamo managing to do this now? They've had their fair share of traded paintwork already. RDO on the receiving end more than the giving end here. Shooter Steve says, which tier is Absamo in? I don't remember seeing them last season. Well, I will. I've got some notes here that I will give you. He's certainly pretty quick, isn't he? So what have we got? He is in his first week. His first season was back in season 2. He's a tier 3 driver, and he has entered 30 races. He's scored 3 podiums and 4 in total since joining Aero League Racing. The Mazda Atenza, rated as possibly the best handling car here tonight, but he's shown that he can make some mistakes in it. Andy Winters into the pits. Was that Bo or Little Sheepy? That was Little Sheepy in the pits as well. Andy Winters has definitely finished with those medium tyres, so he's going to drop down, put some new pair of boots on. And Simon K answers the question for me too. Excellent. There you go. A little more contact then between RDO and Absamo. RDO does struggle, I have to say, through Hell Corner. Absamo may not decide that that was his own fault and he should give the place back once again. In fact, no, he's gone straight past him. RDO has been struggling to get his mid-corner and exits right through Hell Corner in the McLaren. Must be a bit of a handful for him and his current setup. And it's favouring the rest of the circuit, but that has appeared to be a bit of a weakness. Certainly was away from the start, but he's fast enough throughout the rest of the circuit to get there. I can talk to you. I can see whether that was a similar situation in the qualifying. Well, he didn't register one of the top times in the first 2 sectors in qualifying, and in fact only registered one fastest sector, sector 3, in qualifying, but it was so fast that he managed to pip everybody else, of course. There was a real mix of those fastest sector times throughout qualifying, throughout the grid as well. So we have, let me see, RDO was the fastest in sector 3. Andy Winters and the Lamborghini was fastest in sector 1. Then all the way down the grid, Major was the fastest in sector 4, and we had Bo was the fastest in sector 2. So, and yet the slowest himself in sector 3. So really all over the place. This sprawling, majestic circuit that has so many different elements to it. It's really exploiting the strengths and weaknesses of the cars just throughout the length of a single lap. Here are your top 4 then. Iggy yet to pit, Bo yet to pit, and Absamo, who has now got himself ahead of RDO after that issue at the start of this lap 17. Andy Winters is in 5th place in the Lamborghini. He has stopped for tyres. He's now on his second set of tyres, and he's chosen hard tyres as well. That's going to be quite a different handling Lamborghini now on the cold hard tyres. Behind him, Renault King, who started in second, dropped down the order thanks to an issue in the first few corners, but is bringing himself back forwards again, which you have to say is well expected by him. One of the fastest drivers here tonight, and certainly got a good handle on his Viper. He's in 5th place currently. He has yet to stop. He has started on these hard tyres, so that has helped him move forward in terms of track position, but he's 54 seconds off the lead of this race. Pyro outside of a minute behind the leader, and further 9 seconds behind Renault King. Pyro's in 6th with Boomer, Little Sheepy in 7th and 8th behind him. Bo, we know Bo has just stopped. He was 2nd at that point. He's now down into 9th place, 1 minute 8 off the lead of the race, but safely ahead of Reaper Dude on the hard tyres I believe he started on. Rostorm is on fresh mediums and moving forward as well. Ross only started in the penultimate place, P14 tonight, already up to P11, and he's using those mediums. So that is after a pit stop. He's 3 places up from his starting position. Very, very handy for him. Here is Lego then. He was down to the bottom of the order after lap 1. He's back up to 12th. Oh, Lego struggling to get the car under control. His tyres are lit up. I think they're overheated, the Toyota, and on those Michelins, just really, really struggling. He's being caught behind by sorry, I'm talking the wrong way. It was Lego Man, wasn't it? Yes. Sorry, Lego IG and Lego Man. Lego Man is in 13th, catching Lego IG, which I'd probably better call him IG88 for clarity's sake. I can see Ryan is typing bot commands into the Twitch chat, despite the fact that he's racing. There are some long straights around here, and hopefully he can type with the one hand. Jay O'Leary is in 14th place. Major at the rear at the moment, but within sight of Jay O'Leary, and Major has put on new tyres, new softs at the moment on the Mercedes AMG. Just getting the car, I think that was ABS kicking in, leaning on the brakes there into the chase. So Iggy remains our leader. Started only for Iggy, a bit of a surprise to be starting only 5th place, but certainly able to get the race pace unlocked at the moment. Valex Sense asks about the league. He's been already answered, so hi, welcome Valex. Good to have you watching with us. I hope you've donated to our charity cause tonight. Remember, the link will keep appearing through the rest of tonight's race, and I'll check in shortly. I think once we've seen the first pit stops from the medium runners, we'll check in with the current donation total. Our pre-race intention was to try and raise £1,000 British, and that would be matched by a corporate sponsor. So every pound you give doubles for our charity tonight. RDO was the leader, was the pole sitter. He sits in 3rd place. He is at more than a pit stop, I think, behind Iggy at this stage, but he is on the hard tyres, and Iggy only on the mediums. So RDO hoping that the pain of these hard tyres will pay off later on. He didn't brim the tanks full, so he's not expecting to be able to get an entire tank of fuel out of the hard tyres, or the other alternative here, as he struggles to get the car into the apex of the final corner. The other alternative is that he's using the hards for the minimum time possible of 10 laps, and then he's going to run the rest of the race on medium tyre or softs if it works out that way at the end of the race. Putting in a great stint though. Here is Renault King versus Andy Winters. Andy Winters has brought himself forward, no end here. He's on new hard tyres relative to the fully used hard tyres really of Renault King. Probably about 65% front right limited on Renault King's car. Andy Winters looking for a clean overtake here on Renault King, heading up Mountain Straight and towards Griffin's Bend of turn 2. He's hot on the brakes. They're going to run side by side. Renault King knows that there's room there, and Andy Winters just climbs the curve a little bit too much for the clearance underneath that low slung Lamborghini. Lives to fight another day, but he's got a lot to do to catch that time back up again. So that was one attempt at a move and that didn't pay off. He's obviously got a good top speed, but he's got some work to do. Valak says we only do endurance racing. No, there's multiple types of racing available. I think there is a shorter race sprint. This is on the longer end of what the guys do. This is a special extra long 500-kilometer race tonight in aid of our chosen charity, Mind, who you can find on Twitter at Mind Charity, and very similar, I think it's at Mind Charity on YouTube as well. There we go. Sketch Theatre tells us normally 15 and 40-minute races are the order of the day. So this is particularly long, but this is a special evening and a special track as well. Of course, home of the Bathurst 1000. Usually, we're not putting the drivers quite through that. The Bathurst 1000 is a V8 supercar race that drivers share a car and put in some 2.5-hour stints each to arrive at the end of the race. But yeah, it is normally a 1,000-kilometer race. We didn't go for that. I think that might have been one step too far. Please give generously to our chosen charity tonight. If you can't see a link on the screen or the title of this video tonight, scroll up the live chat. It's there, and it's going to be there repeatedly. Andy Winters in 5th place. Let's have a look at the hot battle there in the midfield, led by S Boomer. He's in 6th place in the Jaguar with the yellow stripe there, and then chased behind you've got in the Lexus Bow in the very pretty black and chevron patterned pink and blue accent car. He's in 7th place, already stopped once. He's on the hard tyres, waiting still for that first pit stop from Iggy. The track looking glorious still. No hint of the day waning away on us, but I think we will end up with a change in light conditions. The drivers will be well used to what they're doing on the track, but the track will change. Temperature, wind direction. Currently, we are looking at a northeast easterly at 2.7 meters a second. Keep an eye on conditions and light. Iggy has pitted from the lead of the race. He was on medium tyres at the start. We'll see where Absamo and RDO feed out. They can see the flashing lights of S Boom. I think that's indicating he's hitting the ABS, or he's accidentally touching the headlight button on the way in. But he's picked up a penalty there for track limits abuse, I believe. So watch now as he goes towards those yellow chevrons. He will be fully off throttle for an entire second while the rest of the drivers are at full throttle. He should be across on one side of the track, and that's what he's done exactly, just to indicate that that's what's happening. He's lit up like a Christmas tree all over, and he is passed then by Ross Thom. Boomer struggling with that penalty, and they are incredibly harsh, much more than the 1 second that it says on the screen, because it is a second off throttle while the rest of the drivers are at full throttle. There is S Boomer then losing several seconds to the drivers in front of him. Let's have a look at RDO and Absimo. There's quite a big gap now developing. RDO though has caught Iggy by 20-ish seconds since the pit stop. Iggy's gone for a set of softs now. He's done the mediums and he's gone for a set of softs on lap 22. He must use these tyres then until lap 32, or afterwards, I don't think there'll be a problem. He's just exploring the limits of the grip on those cold tyres at the moment. Struggling to keep control. Absamo then, 12 seconds off the lead. He has made just one pit stop. He's gone onto the medium tyres. So the reverse of Iggy's strategy. Absamo, softs to mediums. Audio is on the hard tyres, and he has dropped back a long way from Iggy, who I don't think put a huge amount of fuel, if any, in the car. He ran the first 22 laps on the from brimmed tank. You have to start on a brimmed tank. You can't start the race on soft tyres and fumes. You do have to complete that criteria. Here we have then, you can see about half a tank used by the Viper of Renault King through the 22 laps. So he's looking at a 44 lap-ish run on a full tank of fuel down to empty. I don't think the drivers will run it too much, but there you go. Renault King, I must say, was very kind to drop me a note about his mental health battles recently. He's been dealing with some very personal grief, and while I wouldn't profess to be any kind of grief expert, Renault King has fully admitted that he has needed support and known that mental health support is incredibly important, and he was kind enough to share a little bit about that with me. I'm not going to go into huge detail about it, but just know that everyone is battling with their own issues, and you can see if you've got particularly keen eyes, and we get a nice close-up shot, you can see on the front windscreen banner on Renault King's car, you can see a message to the person he lost, and he also carries that message as a tattoo on his own body. So a deep and meaningful situation that Renault King has struggled with, and he has said he knows exactly why mental health care is so important, and it's really important that you listen to the people around you who might notice things are wrong before you do, and you reach out. And maybe you can't, maybe it's a situation perhaps like Renault King, who is dealing with personal grief that a lot of members of his family are dealing with at the same time. Maybe it's someone that you reach out to who is outside of that situation, and you'll be surprised how many people would be willing to talk if you need it. And if you're at an absolute dire straits, you can talk to me at WebberRed5. But yeah, not the only driver. I'll talk a little bit later about another driver who has spoken up about his struggles. And I'm so pleased that Aero League Racing is a place that the drivers feel secure enough and safe enough to share these struggles, because it takes a lot of bravery to talk about your mental health struggles. Even though we all go through problems, Absamo's in the pits now, we all go through problems, but only the strongest know that it takes lots of support to navigate difficult waters like that. Please give generously, justgiving.com/page/ALR-Bathurst-500 for your donations tonight. We hope to smash our target and really make this a really important night here in the history of Aero League Racing and League Racing in general. Absamo coming out of the pits then, he's gone for new hard tyres in the Mazda Atenza here. He's looking to try and get good drive away from the pit lane. Renault King's at full speed, and he's on used hard tyres, Renault King. So Absamo should be able to spend the next couple of sectors getting those tyres into better condition than Renault King, who is wide through Griffin's Bend. Renault King starting to really struggle now as Andy Winters has finally come back towards him. We saw the failed attempt into turn 2 earlier on. Viper really difficult handling now on those used hard tyres. Oh, and again another hit on the barriers. Andy Winters struggling not to run into the back of Renault King. I think Renault King might do better just to let Andy Winters through here, because trying to fight is causing problems. And hello to Sketch Theatre, who is enjoying tonight, and we're really pleased that you're enjoying it with us. Sketch Theatre, I hope you've given what you can, or you've advertised the stream to others. Please, if we could get a raid from someone or a group, or we could make sure that as many eyes are on it, just share the post on Twitter. You can find it at Aero League Racing or at WebORed5. Simon K says he loves the Hyundai. Yeah, we'll talk about liveries, shall we? Let's do that now. Let's talk about favourite liveries tonight while you're watching with us. What have you seen so far? I'm enjoying Renault King's livery here. Let's scroll through them, shall we? Well, there's a little lull in the action. This is a pretty tight livery here on the Lexus that Bo has developed. The Aston Martin is this one is a black Aston Martin with neon green accents, Rosthorn, looking very, very nice. Hyundai of Joe Leary. So let's have a look then. Lego IG88. We've got a battle. Let's go back to the battle, because it looks like Bo down the inside of Renault King. Renault King struggling again. He's still on those hard tyres. It looks like he's struggling for pace, and it might do better to change strategy now and come in. But he sticks it out. He's on his lap 25 on the hard tyres. But at the moment, he's one of the slowest on the circuit, it looks like. 2:29 that last lap that qualified for a lap. So that is 10 seconds plus slower than his fastest as Andy Winters got past him. So Renault King gives up the inside here to the Toyota of IG88, and then can't make the apex either. Renault King, IG88 just walking on past as Andy Winters and Bo are rubbing paintwork, rubbing door handles. The wing mirrors stay on for now. Andy Winters just holding on. Oh, getting really squirrely now on Bo's black Lexus here. Looked like he just picked up too much curb, unsettled the balance of the car. And down the hill they go then once again. Down the mountain, I should say. Lego IG88, full on spin, crossed up, loads of opposite lock, and that, well, it looked for a moment like a puncture on the car. Let's see if the car is handling okay as he turns left. Looks like the car is going okay. There was a huge amount of tyre smoke coming out of there, that front left, but it looks like it's cooled down enough now to get back underway. Let's see as Bo is trying his best here to close in on the very quick Lamborghini. Lamborghini's going to give him the inside going into the chase. The major braking zone for the next left-hander is upon us. Out-braking himself slightly in the Lexus, goes for a little bit of a lawn mowing expedition. Surely Ross Thorne will get through. Yes, indeed. Ross Thorne completes the move up to 5th place. Renault King into the pits. He's finally decided that that's enough time lost. And just navigating, as you can see, the sun starting to set, and we're going to get into a really tasty part of the coverage now, when the drivers are struggling with sunset light and then into the dusk. Jay O'Leary in the Hyundai, or Hyundai as we are being taught to pronounce it now. His car is looking, yeah, very, very neat and tidy. It reminds me of the BWT sponsored touring cars and F1 a little bit there. Trying to place what my favourite will be at the moment. I do like the iridescent blue on Major's Mercedes. That is pretty sweet. That's a great take on the Mind Charity colour scheme. Little Sheepy makes me remember racing Silverline touring cars here in the UK. Pyro, mostly white. I'm not getting too excited by Pyro's livery. Anybody else? Anyone fancies a vote for Pyro on the livery? There is Lego Man in the Bugatti. For me, that doesn't suit a Bugatti, I'm sorry to say. I don't like to see the Bugatti in mostly white. I don't know why, just my personal taste. There is Renault King then. He's gone for medium tyres. Should enjoy that much better as the headlights are ablaze and they are shining across the circuit beautifully there. Just a little tap of the brakes. We have lost a driver, unfortunately, but on a long stream like this, that can only be expected. Iggy's got a Tricolore inspired Alfa Romeo livery. He's completely eschewed the Mind Charity colour scheme, and I think he gets originality points for that one. Nocturne says, what colour is my Bugatti? Yeah. Alright, fair enough. If someone handed me a white Bugatti, I wouldn't refuse the keys, for sure. No, I don't have a Bugatti in any colour. I don't even have a model Bugatti in any colour. Absimo then, 3rd place. The red V on his bonnet. And you've also got, wow, the night time has set very quickly. Over the course of about 2 laps, it's now night time. So, do you know what? I think my favourite livery here is the Jaguar. I'm going to say it. Andy Witters then up the inside. Oh, big contact with Bo. We caught that one. In fact, he's had to engage reverse gear and dumped into the kitty litter and the tyre barrier as he tries to rejoin. IG88 didn't quite see him there, but yeah, dropping back. Unfortunately not working out. So this is the worst time in the world to talk about liveries because I can't put any of them on screen because it's now pitch black out there. This is frightening. Let's join them on board. Let's join a driver who does not have anything in front of him. That is S Boomer. It is you're not even chasing any tail lights behind. It is in front of you. It's really tricky. Reaper was last after some lag, he says. And then the lag killed itself, so his stream is done and dusted, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that, Reaper. Thanks for trying with us. It's lap 27 of 80, and the driver's just navigating this in the dark. You can see on board Legoman, distinctive Bugatti interior. Got Renault King in the Viper. He's a minute 41 off the lead of this race. It does all look a little bit hopeless for Renault King at the moment. New medium tyres on the car, as Brennian says. Can't believe how quickly the light changed. Absolutely, there you can see the distant parts of New South Wales in the distance. Oh, Renault King around, and he's struggling in the dark. And this is where we will see the mistakes. The track is cooling very quickly. The wind has dropped slightly in the evening. And yeah, that is a big problem for Renault King. Again, he won't thank me for catching that one on stream. Lap 27. Mighty Iggy then. He has a 37.5 second lead. He has stopped once off his starting medium tyres onto these soft tyres. Struggling with a little bit of lag on my connection to him, so it might not be a car we can watch, you know, all the way through tonight. Here is RDO then. I'll keep the driver tags on for now because it's a little bit easier to see. Actually, let's have a look at it without and see just what the drivers are having to deal with. Let's turn that off, shall we? And then you really get an impression of just how dark it is up there in the mountains. You can see the stars in the sky. No light pollution to speak of. No real trackside lighting either. A couple of gantries, a couple of grandstands being lit, but it really isn't. There are huge sections of the racetrack that are in the pitch black. This is RDO in second place on lap 28, some 40 seconds behind Iggy. That's a whole pit stop now. But RDO on the hard tyres, getting the paint of the hard tyres and the way. I think he may decide to go for mediums for the bulk of the race. Absimo in third place. He is a minute 2 off the lead and 23 seconds away from RDO's second place. They were battling together, but now Absimo, with his second pit stop complete, is on the hard tyres, just discovering where the track goes by wall riding, not deliberately. That is just accidental wall riding, and like I say, the gaps developing big big time at this stage in the night. It will help someone like Andy Winters in the night time. He's got bright yellow headlights here on the Lamborghini, but it will help him because he will see the driver in front's route, even in this really dark section of the racetrack here, the Conrod Straight, barely lit at all. You can see the Armour All tyre bridge across the main straight there. That's lit up because you've got to light up responses, right? But through they go then, under the bridge towards the chase, towards down Murray's Corner, the final corner on the racetrack. And we'll get some lights for the grandstand and the start-finish straight, pit boxes and everybody. But yes, he will have a big vision advantage here, seeing what the rivals are doing. IG88 coming into the pits, as is Bo. We don't see the cars in the pits, there's no point watching them, but trust me, they're in the pits. IG88 coming in off the soft tyres, Bo coming off the hard tyres now. I wonder if that is Bo's first pit stop, is it? Sure, he's got quite a lot of fuel on board. The fuel penalty is pretty huge when you're refueling the car, and that only goes on after the tyres are complete. So the longer the pit stop, usually the more fuel has gone into the car, but you are taking a huge amount of pain. Flow rate is really annoyingly slow. You can see the distant city lights a long way from Mount Panorama. Lick of blue flame, that was beautiful on Lego Man's car. Beautiful stuff there. Simon K says, is Iggy close to lapping anybody yet? I think he'll be a while on that one. Let's go have a look at Iggy. Yeah, probably. Probably about, what's that, about 10 seconds from the car in front. And that is the rearmost driver. Currently, that's a little sheepy, but with the different strategies in play. We won't know how all the strategies work out until about 10 laps to go. Really, we'll keep an eye on as many of them as possible. It's difficult to keep 14 drivers' strategies in mind. Any volunteers in the stream would be much appreciated. So, not quite at our half distance point yet. Lap 30 of 80 complete so far. Remember, we've got, no, you're absolutely right, Simon K. It is Sheepy who is already lapped. So it's Lego IG88 who is the one that's about 10 seconds in front of Iggy. Yes, absolutely. Front discs glowing. Now 45 seconds in the lead. Of course, he's having a soft tyre stint at the moment, but he should have a pit stop in hand over our pole sitter and early laps leader RDO in the McLaren. I'm going to put the car names on now because it's very hard to tell the difference between the cars when you can just see their running lights. And Simon K says, when am I coming back to Monday nights? Well, we'll talk. We'll talk, shall we? So we'll try and work something out. So what I want to do now is to check in with our current total on justgiving.com for tonight's race. So far we have raised, drum roll please, do your own drum roll sound effects. We have raised £960 of our £1,000 target. Remember, we believe through a corporate sponsor we will be having that doubled, and thanks to our supporters. Thank you to Simon K for your gift, for Jack, Joe Royal, Little Sheepy, Joker has given as well, Vanquish Esports have given, Payin, Ben Oliver, Jack, different Jack. We've had anonymous gift of £25 We've had an anonymous gift of £100. Ross has gifted. 2 different Rosses have gifted. Robin, Steve C, who races as Major, Jay O'Leary, Dan Hallinan, Ryan Osbaldeston, Jack Howard, Ross Thorne, one of our drivers. So many of our drivers have given, but plenty of people watching on as well. If you have given and I haven't called your name, then please tell me. Make sure that you've gifted, and we're very grateful for anything you can give to the charity tonight. And if you can consider a monthly gift, that would be even better after the stream, preferably. Give a little now and then give some on a monthly basis. Here is then Ross Thorne in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. He is being chased slowly but surely by Andy Winters, who seems fairly happy here to stay behind Ross Thorne. And the Vantage getting wide, almost hitting the wall in 4th place. Where is Absamo relative to RDO? He is some 28 seconds behind. Iggy now has the fastest lap now that he's had his soft tyre run. He's got a 2:13.159, but generally speaking, quite a few of these laps have been very consistent across the board. We're seeing high 2 minute teens, so 2 minutes 16, 17, 18, 19s as a general pace of the race. Let's try and in the next let's say 9 laps before halfway. I would be super stoked if we could top that that £1,000 mark by half distance. That would be absolutely awesome. So please, if you can, give however little you've got spare. We'd love to hear about it and love to call you out on stream as well. And thank you here to everyone who's willing to give, especially those anonymous gifters who gifted so generously, and our corporate sponsor. Then the order of the race so far. Iggy in first on lap 31. His gap, a pit stop safe distance, although it looks like he's going to take on quite a lot of fuel on the next run. Pit stop safe to RDO, who was the fastest in qualifying and in the first 10 or so laps before his pit stop. I think he made it 13 or 14 laps on his first set of soft tyres. Did RDO. There's a pit stop happening right now for S. Boomer, who's on 31% of his fuel and on his hard tyres. I think Boomer did, in fact, this is his first pit stop. I think he started on the hard tyres. Quite brave, really. Absolutely treacherous. You can see the glossy sheen on the racetrack. That is a low grip racetrack in the dark. Track temperatures will fall. The wind direction staying pretty stable here for the drivers. You can see RDO trying to keep the revs high enough for the turbo to kick in. Doing a great job at the moment. So in third place, Absimo, who had a couple of contacts with RDO earlier on in an attempt to get through. He got past and then had to pit ahead of him. He's now on the hard tyres, is Absimo, and going to probably run this one to the dregs of that fuel tank. I think the fuel is going to run out before the tyres do, but he's fairly aggressive on that front right already, Absimo. So down in fourth place then, Ross Thorne, sitting there 1 minute 25 off the lead. He's got a 7-second gap to Absimo in front, just 0.8 of a second to the Lamborghini of Andy Winters behind him. As we journey on through the night here, we should get daybreak before the end of the race as well. So we have an entire day cycle within this time period. Just remember the drivers are on a two times tyre situation. Jay O'Leary in the Hyundai is in 6th place, a little bit on his own. He's got a bit of a gap behind him to Lego Man in the Bugatti. Lego Man on the mediums, then Bo, his Lexus running 8th. Again, a bit of a gap in front and behind, that's Bo. And we have Major in the Mercedes, currently being passed by Renault King. Right, just caught the moment of the overtake there. Major's on medium tyres, fresh mediums, and hitting the hazard lights on the car. What is he trying to indicate with that? I think I'm not quite sure what he's indicating. Is he trying to say that the car passed illegally in front, or is he saying that his tyres are not ideal, so let him past? Anyway, Renault King back to 9th place. He was 2nd at the start of this race, but had a nightmare beginning, and he's now 2 minutes away from the lead of the race. Renault King on medium tyres, good amount of fuel on the car as well. Major has medium tyres and very little fuel, just over 1/4 of a tank. And we've got Lego Man in the Toyota. He's still struggling with those apexes, and sorry, Lego IG88. He is running around the outside, contact with the walls, and there's that yellow headlight and yellow striped. Trust me, it's got a yellow stripe on the Jaguar F-Type. And actually, I'm going to give it the pick of my liveries, S Boomer's livery so far. Let me know what you think when we get back to daytime racing. Pyro is in 13th, and he's currently on medium tyres, just having come out of the pits. Further back, Little Sheepy, the last place in 14th, some 18 seconds away from Pyro, and 2 minutes 49 from our leader. So he has been lapped. Has Pyro been lapped yet? I think he has. Yes, indeed. So Iggy is between, I think, let's see, S Boomer on track. Toyota 86 of P11 is in front of him. So I think Iggy is sitting between 10th and 11th place, having lapped up to, but not including 10th place. So down we go then. There is Iggy in the lead of this race. 56.7 seconds in the lead on those soft tyres. Really making use of the pace delta at this point, and he can then race the hard tyres a bit later on, unless he chooses to go mediums for the bulk of the race. Started mediums on the soft tyres now, getting good tyre life out of the tyres. So he's quick and he's gentle on the tyres. It's working out well for Iggy. I did say early doors that his 6th place qualifying was a surprise to me, but he's clearly got this car dialed in for the race. He is the Alfa Romeo driver. He's champion of Tier 1 in season 5 and 7. He has 12 wins this season. He's a 2-time Group 3 champion, the record point scorer in a single season, and has won 29 times out of his 46 race entries. And he has a job on his hands here. I think he's got one of the worst cars. It's got both poor speed, it's poor top speed, and relatively poor handling. So really taking some pain on this car. I think he'll be loving it though if he wins in it by the end of it. We shall see. So that's how things stand. We're a little bit between pit stops at the moment, so I'll tell you what we'll do. Just hear a little bit from the work that mine do, shall we? Instead of listening to my voice all the time, we'll just hear a little bit from mine, and if you can spot the famous voice speaking, then do shout up. He is the main celebrity who supports me. please give generously. Please give whatever you can to our cause tonight. That is, the link is in both the title and the live chat. That is justgiving.com/page/ALR-Bathurst-500. I'm going to check in. I'm excited to see what we have raised so far. I will check in with that very shortly. While we were listening to that, I hope that wasn't triggering for anybody. My apologies if it was, but please note that suicide or self-harm is a temporary, it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Things get better, and unfortunately, I can speak from personal experience here. I just mentioned that Iggy is in the pits from the lead. I can speak from personal experience that depression plays tricks with your mind, and the last thing that you should trust as a depressed person is the view of yourself and your own view of your current situation. So please reach out, talk to Mind, talk to friends and family. They will understand, they will support you. It may take a few attempts, but please do. And everybody in your life would rather you call them at 3 a.m. in a crisis than ask them to go to your funeral. So please reach out to Mind UK Mental Health Charity and give what you can, or encourage others to give what they can tonight on our charity stream. My name is Webbo. I'm here as your commentator tonight, and I'm very, very pleased to do this for you. As we approach our half distance of the race, we are just hoping that we can smash our target. So please, if you have got a spare pound or two, drop that into the justgiving.com link on the live chat. Iggy did hold on to that lead. There he is, out of the pits on the hard tyres. He didn't put a huge amount of fuel in. I wonder, if that was a bit of a mistake, or he is just looking to get the minimum distance on those hard tyres before enjoying the mediums as potentially the best race tyre. Now he has gone from worn hot tyres to cold hard tyres now, and that is going to be a significant challenge. You can see the car squirreling around a little bit. Some of that might be lag. But certainly a bit of a handful for Iggy. Let's ride on board, shall we? The Alfa Romeo. I quite like this dynamic camera, but if you get motion sickness and you're watching with us, let me know and I'll change to the static one. But you can see 6th gear as we head in towards the chase. Pit stop complete for Iggy. 2nd pit stop done with, and really, you've got to say, with almost half the race complete, the race belongs to Iggy at this stage. He can, of course, be looking to not make any significant mistakes. The one good thing about this circuit for the drivers is that the walls are so close that it's difficult to make a monumental error and waste a huge amount of time recovering the car. There are some big gravel traps, but at the moment things are going okay for Iggy. I think the transition from day to night was perhaps the toughest moment for our drivers, but as things stand, they'll be hoping that things only get better. Here comes the McLaren of RDO. That's how far away he was from Iggy, but he's coming into the pits to get rid of those hard tyres. Hasn't quite drained the tanks, and his pit crew are there and waiting. So let's see then. RDO in the pits on the hard tyre. We know that he and Absimo had some contact earlier on. Looks like the master of Absimo is going to get through and get past his hard tyres. A lot younger than, and Ryan says they're dreadful tyres, the hards. So I think the favoured race tyre for most of everybody. They won't use the hards to their full longevity. I think the majority of drivers, unless they have particularly high tyre deg needs, I think they'll be using the mediums for the bulk of the evening. RDO down. It's giving us an excellent update on his race so far. I think that might be as much as he can afford to type. As that look of flame again coming out of the Mazda, going up into Griffin's Bend as they climb the hill. Now, the Lamborghini of Andy Winters is losing grip on the hard tyres. I imagine for Ryan, for RDO, that those tyres would have been particularly tough in the low track temperature conditions here at the dead of night. Lamborghini on board, full digital display and split steering wheel, so you can see his race information pretty well on his display, unless it's got, you know, head-up display switched on as well. I don't actually know the driver's favoured driving position. I'm a cockpit driver myself, but I am quite slow, so I stick to my commentary. But I don't know if they use bonnet cam or chase view or anything. I think it's bizarre when I see people using chase view in their replays, but each to his own. You can see how tight the dipper section down the steep decline of the mountain through Forest Elbow now. Exit all important for reaching VMAX down this Conrod Straight. How's Ross Thorne doing? He's in 5th currently. Beautiful engine sound of the V8 Vantage at full revs, passing a static microphone there. Fantastic stuff. 5th place, I think he'll be pretty happy with that as things stand. The Aston Martin, a little bit on the understeery side, I'm hearing, and but with very good straight line speed. Ross Thorne is the Tier 2 driver, and he came top 5 in Tier 2 with 2 wins, and was the Tier 3 champion of Season 6 with 4 wins. He's entered 51 races with Aero League Racing. I think this is number 52. Heck of a race to take on the challenge of a 500-kilometre endurance race. He's got RDO in front of him, who was the pole sitter. New medium tyres then for RDO and a half a tank petrol. Now, will that be the case for our drivers? Will they all elect to run about half a tank's worth and run as light as possible in this middle section of the race? RDO is on his lap 39. He is 1 minute 20 off Mighty Iggy's lead. And rubbing the wall like that isn't going to help all that much. I'm sure he doesn't need me to tell him that. RDO has entered 91 races for Aero League Racing. He's the leading points scorer in its history. He says that his car is very down on power, but really enjoying the handling of it. His pole position for this race was his first since Season 3 in Spain, so it has been a long wait, and hopefully he's put in a lot of time. I know he's put in a lot of time in the organisation of this race, and of course we're actually on his channel today, but he's put a lot of time in the admin side of things, but he's not neglected his time in the cockpit to get his pace lined up, at least for the pole position tonight. Currently 4th. I think he would definitely have designs on passing Absimo and Andy Winters before this race is run. Whether he feels he's got the pace to keep up with Iggy tonight, we'll have to find out during his next pit stop maybe. Shout up if you're still with us, if I've kept you awake through the night of our race. And if you're enjoying tonight's race, I hope you are. I hope you've decided to follow this channel, follow Aero League Racing on. You can subscribe on YouTube, and of course on Twitter you can follow them at Aero League Racing, and you can follow myself if you so wish. That is at WebORed5, and I tag Twitter with a post every time I go live. I'm trying to do the same on YouTube as well when I can. It was great actually. One of my preview tweets for tonight was liked by Mind Charity themselves, so they're enjoying the promotion of the charity. I'm sure they'll be very grateful for the work that we're doing. Oh, Reaper Dude says we've got an Instagram account, GT_ALR. Fantastic. Yeah, so go ahead and follow that as well. Race results, race previews, and so on. Well, the V8 Vantage is really closing on the McLaren here, down Conrod Straight and towards the chase, but McLaren of RDO just managing to high on. And yeah, little exchange going between, sounds like old friends. Reaper not enjoying his connection tonight, unfortunately. He was our only exit so far from the race. Pit stops then are ongoing for Andy Winters, who are passed by this RDO and Rostom group, as is Absamo. So they are both moving forward. I think Rostom will be very pleased to be in that position now. He's in third place. He's on soft tyres, and he could really do with getting past RDO here. Vienna used these soft tyres to their absolute maximum. There he is, fastest first sector time we've had so far, and he's not going to be able to continue that unless he can pass more easily than he has done already. His fastest, a 2:13.938, which is still some 0.8 of a second slower than Iggy's fastest lap of the race, but some very consistent laps been going in here on this stint for Ross. But Espuma was another driver who was kind enough to talk about his experience with mental health. Espuma, when he was 5, was diagnosed with PDD-NOS, and that is on the autistic spectrum, and that was then later changed to a different diagnosis. But he knows firsthand how things have affected him to do with his mental health, particularly around feeling isolated. And again, I must say, props to Aero League Racing for creating an environment where their drivers can talk about this. Ross says Espuma says he's happy that we're racing tonight for the Mind charity, to create more attention for this charity, but also for mental health awareness in general. We can all help each other prevent tragic outcomes for people who have so much to live for. And he was wishing everybody good luck and hoping to have a really fun time out here. I hope the drivers are enjoying themselves racing for a good cause. RDO won't have enjoyed that one. He's just lost a place there to Ross and has lost a big chunk of time. He's nearly now half a lap, actually slightly more than half a lap behind Iggy's lead, but the McLaren, big off-track excursion there. It's a really tempting place to make a move down into the chase after Conrod Straight, but it is rife with danger because you can get really far off the track and lose time in the gravel. He's lost 8 seconds to Ross, who on the soft tyres will now be monstering to try and make the best use of those soft tyres that he possibly can. 1 minute 18 in front of second place driver. That is half a lap in front of the second place driver. He has lapped a number of our drivers already as well. Will he continue on this incredible pace? Look at those laps though from Ross on the soft tyres. 2:13, 2:14, 14, 15, 14, 15. Over the distance of a lap here around Mount Panorama, which is 6.2 kilometres. That is no mean feat, that kind of consistency. His fastest, a 2:13.938 at this stage, compared to Iggy's and the race's fastest lap, a 2:13.159. Ross running the car a little bit low on fuel now. He is almost done with this lap. I wonder if this is pit stop time for Ross and whether he'll get another lap out of the car. It looks like he's staying right though, is he? He is staying right, so he thinks he can get another lap out of the car on red fuel. So he's going to run out of fuel before he runs out completely of tyres. And RDO lost a further second then to Ross, but he's driving on fumes and on soft tyres, so no big surprises there that mediums and a near half tank of fuel. So he's losing that kind of distance. But one big problem then for RDO is that on the same tyres and slightly less fuel is his erstwhile rival from earlier on, is Absimo, chasing up from the rear, who just got a fastest first sector on medium tyres, no less. Fastest for the race. I don't think we're going to get any additional track temperature here from the drivers, from the track, because of the midnight conditions. I'm pretty sure we just saw the lights of an aircraft landing as well in the distance there, which is a nice touch. I think this game really excels graphically when it comes to mixed conditions, night conditions with the headlights. You can see how close to the barriers Absimo is pushing. He's really got the wind in his sails. You can see the tail lights of RDO in front, and there's another personal best from Absimo, really in a good rhythm, low on fuel and running. Renault King, he's got himself into 5th place. He's due a pit stop soon though. He may have miscalculated slightly on the amount of fuel needed for this medium stint, although he may be just going to top up the tanks each time. He could just do a pure tyre stop now and still be able to use the mediums, dependent on, I think the Dodge Viper's relatively poor on fuel economy, but could well be that he could pit now for a fresh set of mediums and not have to put any fuel in the car at all. It is a good all-round car, I've been told, which is great to hear. Major is in 6th place. He is again due a pit stop, and in fact it's happening right now. Glowing front discs, and he's managed to get the car stopped down to the speed limit, and it's medium tyres and it's fuel. I imagine there'll be another set of mediums coming on. Where is Andy Winters? Well, he's in P7, soon to be P6, as he passes Major's car in the pits there. Andy Winters on fresh softs, just getting that out of the way now. That stint out of the way, I should say. Bo in the Lexus, he's in P7. He is 2 minutes off the lead, so probably shortly to be lapped by Iggy, but Bo in 7th place. He's on fresh softs, so hoping to move forward a little bit. Wind dropping further, and Bo, dropping off the circuit slightly. That was on the straight. How did he manage to lose the car on the straight like that? Perhaps this is a lack of focus. Fatigue starting to set in, I wonder, on the drivers, but you can just see the car behind of Espuma. He's catching now. Losing time is Bo, trying to get these soft tyres operating for him. Espuma in the Jaguar. He's in 8th place, with Bugatti of Lego Man behind him. SBM medium tyres, quarter tank of fuel on board. Should be able to run this pretty close to empty before pitting. There's Lego Man then. And the driver's getting close enough so that we can get glimpses of their liveries once again. Behind him, Nissan R35 of Pyro, running 10th place, 2 minutes 6 off the lead, just 0.8 of a second behind the Bugatti of Lego Man. You won't be tempted to make an overtake on the straight, on the Conmod straight here. I'll have to wait for somewhere in the turns and the twisty sections, but there isn't a lot of room in the twisty sections of the track, or perhaps pressurise and wait for a mistake. Pyro, about halfway through his medium tyres, but he wishes on that tyre wear rate, but he wishes he could split the axles and run hards on the front, mediums on the rears, or some similar arrangement. Well, the Hyundai Genesis of Jay O'Leary is in P11. He's just hit a personal best time there of a 2:14.956 on fresh medium tyres. Pretty full with fuel as well. Again, another driver who may well have overestimated the amount of fuel he needs for this stint. Likewise, possibly Major, who's got 3/4 of a tank of fuel in the Mercedes SLS AMG. He's 2 minutes 18 off the lead. I imagine that, I think Iggy will be between Major and, yeah, Iggy is currently between Major and Jay O'Leary, that we've just seen. No sign of daybreak just yet. Keep our eyes peeled for that. I imagine the night time will be a decent amount of our coverage. Down in Australia, New South Wales, you do get quite long nights, and they don't tend to change the sunrise sunset times by anywhere near as much as they do in the UK for me here, and for quite a few of our drivers. So it's usually sort of 7 PM till 6 AM that you have got pretty dark nighttime conditions. The Lego Man, Lego IG is 14th place, Toyota 86. You can hear the tyres working hard, and he's just pitted and got some soft tyres on the car. He's in last place at the moment, but that's only sort of a mistake or two away. Here's Iggy then, in between, as we mentioned earlier, some laps, well, in front of a lap car and behind another car to be lapped, so he's trying to catch those drivers in front. Is that Ryan in the pits, or is that just Ryan using the bot? No, it is Ryan just using the bot while he races. So that was good to see. Just don't go wrong, right? We don't want to see RDO having an accident because he's typing. We need to get some bots set up to manage the bot chat. Stream elements I've seen people using. Anyway, Iggy, 1 minute 25 in front of Ross Thorn's second place on the softs. How's the car feeling at the moment? Well, he's desperate for some fuel now, Ross. Will have to be the end of this lap, I feel. Let's get it on board with Ross, shall we? Offset display in the cockpit on the Aston. The car doesn't sound anywhere near as nice inside as it does on the outside. Drive off Forest Elbow corner. Now let's just keep your foot planted and maybe get a drink and just wait for the chase, turn 20. Marshall's managing to stay awake with some lights over there, little bus stop gantries. There we go, third gear, must feel tremendously slow turn 21 and 22. So Nocturne says isn't particularly familiar. As we get a pit stop entry then from Ross, we won't be able to stay on board for very long here with Ross. The game will cut us away to some waiting people. So is the dirty air effect particularly strong? It is. If you're talking about relative to F1, no, it's not particularly strong in that respect. High-speed corners, you will feel it, particularly when you've been racing a long time in these tin tops. But likewise, you don't get as much of a slipstream effect either. So it's all about not making mistakes, getting it bad, getting yourself in a rhythm, and leaning on the car in front to try and force an error. Of course, they can stand up to a little bit more contact as well, and they can hit the walls and keep going in a way that the F1 cars can't. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's actually relatively straightforward, as with most tin tops. There's the first hint of dawn arriving in the distant horizon as we reach the top of the mountain. We'll be able to start seeing the cars again properly. But yes, thanks to RDO, to Ryan, hosted the channel and RDO in the game today, who was answering that question already. But Ryan, you must not go off track because you're typing, please. Absimo heading down the dipper of turns 13, 14, 15 and 16. They just come at you. There's so many turns in this section. It's just hanging on for dear life. These are heavy Group 4 cars in these conditions. It'd be as bad as similar to a V8 supercar as you're going to get, I think, the handling of these Group 4s in the game. And this is exactly the kind of thing that these have been the Bathurst 1000, the real life race, is used for. So beautiful sunrise beginning. Haven't seen any actual sun yet, just the bright colours at the tip of the horizon. Ryan says that it was bad in, I'm assuming, it is bad in Groups 3 and Group 2, so it's slightly more highly tuned vehicles with higher top speeds, slightly higher grip factor as well, can be a little bit more unstable. So these fairly heavy Group 4s, less of an issue. Renault King is in the pits. He's in 4th place at the moment, and he has recovered himself very well from that early problem. We'll see the car enter the pit, shall we? One of these days. Come on, game. Where are we? Well, apparently the whole pit lane are out to watch Renault King's pit stop. Here he goes, under the lights. Now the fuel will have to go in. He's got half a tank on. I think he's put, or will put mediums back on again. He's not going to pit for a huge amount of fuel there, and he comes out with, well, about, what, 4/5 of a tank. As Nocturne says, Renault seems to be on a charge. Absolutely on a charge back, but he's been demoted back to 9th place. Just behind here, this battle for 7th between, we've got Jay O'Leary and Pyro here. Pyro just getting the nose ahead on the way into Griffin's Bend as they power on up the hill. It's a blue flag on the circuit as well. I'm guessing that means that Iggy is on his way. Blue flag's waving hard, in fact. So Iggy must be in amongst this group. Where is he? Well, that blue flag is flying, and it is... What is it? A long way? That is... The blue flag is flying for Lego Man, who has the Alfa Romeo of Iggy catching him. So Lego Man in 10th place is about to be lapped. He will have to give that place up or suffer a penalty on track. But it's a little bit confusing to the drivers in front, who are all picking up a similar blue flag. Nocturne says that Viper looks sick. Yeah, it is a pretty livery he's gone for. So I love the way he's followed the contours of the car as well. Just for simplicity's sake, and I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of British bias, but I do like the Jaguar of Espuma. That's probably my favourite at this point. Here we go then, daytime racing. And look, in the course of one lap of racing, we've gone from almost pitch black now into glorious daylight. Oh, who's that going off in the back? And that's Renneking and the Genesis of Jay O'Leary. Renneking seemed to do his best to get out of the way, but on the new medium tyres, the car not handling down into the chase as he had hoped. And unfortunately for Renneking, I think that's the third issue I've caught on stream, and I haven't even been watching him that much. I think he's let through there by the 11th place driver. Sorry, the 12th place driver now of Jay O'Leary has let both he and Major through. I wonder if Nocturne are you live tweeting this for us? But Renneking is the Tier 2 champion for Season 6, and he won here at Bathurst in Tier 2, so he's obviously a fan of this circuit. Gave up a fair amount of practice time to to make the car look as good as he has done. There's the blue flags again, but it's a little way before Iggy, isn't it? Excellent. So yes, Nocturne is doing our live tweets of the event. That Mercedes looks good too. I think if I had to, I would probably say it would be the Jaguar, Renneking's Viper and this Mercedes, my top 3 liveries tonight. So lap 49 for Major here. I think it might even be lap 50 for our leader Iggy. Yes, it is indeed. So Iggy, there's some sparks flying up off the racetrack there as Iggy here is having to cut through a lot of traffic. He's on lap 50 of 80. He's on the home stretch now. The change in daylight conditions will help the drivers to just get that little wake-up call and be glad of being out of the night time. I think. I imagine they'll be relieved to see the end of that. Here comes Iggy then into the pits. What is that about? That's a fuel, running low on fuel. So is this Iggy's hard tyre stint done and dusted? And he now, presumably, is going to use the mediums, the favoured tyre for the drivers. I'll keep my eye on Iggy, who is in first place, 1 minute 25. That will drop considerably now, but he won't be too worried about losing a place, as RDO is currently at the very top point of the circuit. And he's pleased that it's lap 50 as well. Personal best for RDO in sector 2 there. 2? No, sector 3, sorry. Sector 3, I think. I was right first, sector 2. So down into the dipper. Through Forest Elbow goes RDO. And Iggy, is he actually putting soft tyres on? Is he having a bit of fun here? He is. He's put soft tyres on and he's gone for 3/4 of a tank of fuel. So an interesting strategy from Iggy. Just fancies another run on those softs. RDO on the mediums, about 35, maybe 40% worn front right at the moment. Interestingly, in Tier 1, the race winner in Bathurst was actually Legoman, who's currently down in 8th place, so that hasn't really translated for him. He is in very, very difficult handling Bugatti. See the marble pickup on the outside of the circuit there. And again, RDO, I'm nervous now to talk about him because I'm pretty sure he's listening in. But yeah, still struggling on turn 1. It's RDO. He seems to have the rest of the lap hooked up, but turn 1 is really a problem for him. Personal best though through sector 1 for him. Bo has picked up the fastest lap now, a 2:13.031. That is tantalisingly close to Iggy. Maybe that's why Iggy's gone for the softs. He wants that fastest lap back. So I think next lap out for Iggy will join him on board and see if it's a bid for fastest lap. But he's put a lot of fuel on that car, so I don't know so much. Pit stops underway for Andy Winters and Pyro, dropping down the order now, as you would expect. So on lap 51 for the leader, it's Iggy in first place, 44 seconds in front of RDO. Then comes Absamo, 3.5 seconds behind him and 47 seconds off the leader. Bo fighting very hard here. Bo in fourth place, fighting with the Aston Martin of Ross Thorne. Getting the corner a little bit wrong there at the cutting. It's a really slow corner, the cutting. So Bo staying ahead of Ross Thorne at this current point. Ryan got a penalty, apparently we're saying. RDO penalty, well, he's paid it, I think, has he? He's on the Conrad straight, yeah, I think he's already paid it. And here we can see the Mazda Atenza of Absamo trying his best to get ahead, but no, there's no way to grip on there. Going sideways through the gravel. Good style points from Absamo. That one worked very nicely. He managed to hang on, but unfortunately I think the penalty of RDO caught him unawares, and in fact it's ended up RDO's only lost time to the car in front, hasn't lost a place to Absamo. I was kind of thinking he would, but oh, that sucks. And Reaper Dude says, come on Absamo, my man is in third. Reaper, I'm gonna hand that curse to you. That was if you were typing that right there and then, I'm gonna lay the blame on your door there. Unfortunately, he's running quite low on fuel, but I'll hope to get through. And there's Brian saying lol because of Reaper Dude's chat. Well, indeed, Bo's in the pits now after that little battle as well. He's on in the pits, so we had a little burst of action between the drivers. And Reaper said, just finished typing as it happened. Sorry about it. You're not having the best of luck tonight, Reaper, are you? Lego Man in the pits as well, off the medium tyre. So what's Iggy up to? How is this sector looking? Should we ride on board with Iggy for a lap? Because I think he's about to bid for a new fastest lap on fresh soft tyres. Reaper said he's going to sit here in silence now. Right. Okay. Well, if you put your lottery numbers down, Reaper, we'll all choose different numbers from you. I hope that everyone is remembering, please, to give generously to our cause tonight. That is the Mind Mental Health Charity. Mental health important to everybody, of course, not just those with an obvious or diagnosed problem, but mental health is like physical health in many respects. The only problem I find is that people expect someone with mental health to be able to see their own mental health, but it's actually the brain that's got a problem. So it's very difficult to have insight into your own problems. Listen to those around you if they're saying that something seems wrong. Well, Iggy has picked up a personal best in Sector 1. Getting good throttle hookup through Griffin's Bend, going towards the cutting now, which starts here with the position in the car and then braking slightly down to second gear. Good grip on the car on his soft tyres. He'll be hoping that he can clear the car in front okay. Reaper says he was hoping to share his story. Well, if you feel like sending me a message about it, then feel free, but otherwise I imagine it's not the best time to talk about mental health after having the issues you've had tonight with the server, but this happens. It's rarer than a mechanical in on-track racing, but it is still something that happens to everybody. Oh, the Bugatti getting a bit sideways there for Iggy on his fastest lap attempt, and he won't thank. Oh, the Nissan R35 is turned around as well. Really difficult lap here for P11 and then P11 and 12 on that lap. The rear wing of the Bugatti opens up. Top speed should be greater here, but I think he's been let through given the blue flags. Iggy won't thank him for waiting until now, but he has done. Lifted off the throttle and let him through. I'd love to hear more stories of people's connection to the Mind charity if you're willing, but if not, then just give generously if at all possible. Remember, we're trying to raise tonight £1,000 by donations alone, and we are very pleased. We are so close to our £1,000 limit after receiving a gift in the last few minutes from the Omorda, who says, big up the tier 3 F1 champs tonight. Take it home, boys, and keep it between the hedges. So a new gift tonight has got us that little step closer, and thank you to the Omorda who has given just now. Fantastic stuff. We are so close to our target, and we'd love to make it in the next few laps if at all possible. And if you're wondering whether to give or not, let's hear another story, shall we, from the Mind charity. Give whatever you can today and on a regular basis to the Mind Mental Health charity. This is the Eric League Racing's Bathurst 500 special charity event. My name is Webbo, I'm your commentator for the evening, and you just heard from the Mind charity that they have a national phone number you can call 24 hours a day. If you are struggling and you have no one you feel you can reach out to in your own life, there are experts at the end of the phone just waiting for you. Just head on to mind.uk, I believe it is. I will double check that one for you. But yes, head on to the Mind charity, just type in Mind Charity UK into the search bar and you should get the phone number ready and waiting for you. Don't wait to call, don't wait to talk to someone about your struggles. There is no shame in it whatsoever. The only shame in mental health is not reaching out for help. That's my view anyway. And of course, all the lives that are lost as a result of not paying attention or not being able to sort out your own or others around you's mental health. Don't live with regret if you see someone is struggling. Talk to them, reach out to them. One of the things that I do actually to look after my own mental health is, instead of feeling that real burden of trying to set up a call with someone you haven't spoken to in ages, I book calls with some of my best friends, even though I don't see them for months and months at a time. As an adult, you can really neglect your key friendships that were so much easier when you were a kid. But I book in on my own calendar. I book in times to talk to my friends, so that it's not as if I'm reaching out for a bizarre reason. It's a check-in with them on a frequent basis. I'd consider doing that if you're someone who lives with depression in some regard. Make sure that you've got room on your calendar, a regular date, and you can end up effectively talking to someone a different person every week or two. And it really, really helps. Please remember that self-harm is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Into the pits comes Jay O'Leary from 8th place. He's on the medium tyres at the moment. I don't think he'll need much fuel if he's stopping for medium tyres again. And a check back on lap 56. Iggy leads by 58 seconds. He retook the fastest lap of the race. He is currently on a 2:12.906. And that was the last lap there. We saw some good action while I was playing that message from Mind. Renault King fighting with Major and got ahead. Give me a shout out if you've got a question or observation. Give me a shout out in the live chat. My screen's frozen for a moment, so just give me some reassurance that we're still running and that everyone is still with us. Lap 57 of 80. Iggy leads our race, but it's not over until it's over, of course. Shooter Steve says, still watching the leader. Absolutely, yes. So Iggy leading after just getting that fastest lap. Thank you very much for the verification. I do have a stream running on my other device, but my internet is obviously given over. The predominant part of my internet on a wired connection is given over to hosting the stream. That is the all-important thing, of course, that we get every moment of the track action. Absamo is in the pits. Look, Absamo from the medium tyres. He wore through them, but perhaps not quite enough of the fuel. And here comes RDO. He's in second. He is going to be trying to get back into the pits shortly. He's on fumes. And again, similar to Absamo, may not have put on enough fuel last time. So he may put on a little bit more this time. And Shooter Steve said, let's go Abmo. So he's cheering on Abmo tonight. Stuff. So in the pits and back out again. Are we going to go with Abmo? I thought the 5.3 was perhaps there as in place of S and an E, but I don't know. You know who I'm talking about when I say Absamo. In the Mazda Atenza here in 4th place at the moment. He was fighting with RDO a lot earlier on this evening. Rostom has moved up beautifully through the field. I think he might be managing this stint very nicely indeed as well. Looks like he's got a similar amount of wear left on the mediums and fuel. Well, as I say that, getting very close. He's really had a lot of attention in the rear left of the car, hasn't he? It's a little bit mashed up. I don't think many of the cars will come out of this one looking pristine. So RDO, as I say, on those on very low fuel now. So we'll definitely be pitting. In fact, might even be entering low fuel mode here shortly. He's cutting it that fine. I think he'll perhaps put an extra seconds worth of fuel in the car in this stint. In he comes then, 1 minute and 1 behind the leader as he enters the pits. So that will change shortly. Will Ross Storm get ahead of him? He's 29 seconds behind. Ryan's saying, RDO that is, saying fatigue is really setting in now. Yeah, I can absolutely imagine. It must be tremendously difficult. I mean, physically, if you're on a direct drive, this is going to be really, really hard work. But just mentally, on the attention span, you can see the V8 Vantage of Ross Storm just backing its way into the corner slightly there. Does he get out ahead? Does he stay ahead? Well, Brian's saying his neck is killing him. Wow, it's interesting. What are you doing with your neck on a sim rig, perhaps? I don't know what the drivers are using. I don't imagine many of them are on controller at this level. I think, yeah. Simon K saying, is he picking up too much G-force? I think it's actually in a simulator maybe. But anyway, Nocturne saying that racing green is so clean. And Iggy, the info from Steve is Iggy is on a controller. Wow. Okay, that'll be strained thumbs by the end of it then tonight for Iggy. Looking good then. RDO did slip down back behind Absamo, and he's now 3.8 seconds behind him. Fresh mediums for RDO, and he's put on that little bit extra fuel than the last stint, I think, there, just to avoid that extra, or try and gain that extra lap towards the end. So of course he's got, what are we talking now, 32 laps to run. I wonder if he's going to try and split that with one more stop. Be quite something. I've lost count of the stops made, I'm afraid. It's just too difficult to keep track of everybody. Please remember, this is a charity stream. You'll see the charity liveries and logos put on the cars. So have we actually lost S Boomer? I think we may have done. Let's go have a look. Yeah, we've lost S Boomer, unfortunately. This is about 3 times a year only is how often his internet dies. I'm so sorry, Tsietsi Boomer, but you've been lost from the server. We're doing really well, I have to say, for a stream, for a lobby and race of this length, to lose so few drivers, but yeah, unfortunately that's Reaper and S-Boomer out, and Nocturne is devastated. S-Boomer, I don't know if you've been watching during the race, but you do go home with Webbo's prize for best livery tonight. So let's hope so. And Ryan says, don't jinx us. Sorry, yes, that's why I've said we're doing well. I haven't said. I try not to make statements of optimism. S-Boomer said he had a good time and has had chats with Ross, RDO and Pyro. So we got radios going on in the race as well, which is great to see. Here is Lego then in the Toyota 86. He's a little bit loose on those new mediums. Let's go back through the order then, shall we? Iggy in first place as he ticks over into his lap 60 of 80, getting the tail out on the way into Griffin's Bend. Ross Storm, he's in second place and in the Vantage, about halfway through his mediums and his fuel for this stint. Absamo driving a bit quicker at the moment. He's gone for a soft stint, maybe just to keep himself awake. He's gone for a soft stint, low fuel run, so he'll be looking to try and, I think he's just trying to get away from RDO here. And S Boomer says best livery. I'll pass those credits on to Blue Jean, his co-admin who made it. And absolutely, well, that's just my prize. You know, we can take a vote in the server if you like, if you want to make it official. But I haven't heard anybody else saying who their favourites is. Although Nocturne did quite like, he liked Renekings, didn't he? So that's good to hear. Well, Absimo is closing in here on Rosthorn. It's right on board. Let's see where his master feels good relative to the Aston Martin. I doubt it'll be on top end horsepower, but you never know. Iggy's fastest lap has dropped down again. It's a 2:12, 7:87 now. Nocturne says, yeah, Renault's is his pick of the day. Good to hear. Perhaps a hint of a short shift going through Griffin's Bend there for Absimo. Reaper's not happy seeing a 2:12. Yeah, that is quick, isn't it, on Iggy's car. You can see just how crunched up the left rear is on the Aston of Ross Thorne ahead. Now, will Ross understand that the driver behind is on faster tyres, and it might be sensible to let him through? Reaper says, is there anything stopping Iggy? Well, there is one thing that could stop Iggy, and it's stopped two drivers who crashed out already of the race. I didn't say crashed out, that's not fair. Who have exited the race already, and that is internet problems. Obviously, the longer and deeper we go into the race, the more likely that someone's internet drops, but it happened quite early for Reaper. Pretty late. I don't know. Would you rather it affected you early, Reaper, than on lap 59 like it did to Spuma? I wonder. I would imagine you'd rather have wasted less time before an outage like that. Here we go. Good top speed, good slipstream coming from Absimo. He got very close. He rubbed the bumper on the back of the Aston Martin, who will not give him the inside line. Pushes to the inside. Let's have a look from outside the car. Absimo getting the chase wrong. Oh, there's contact as he rejoins. That's an unsafe rejoin all day long, and clattering across the barriers goes the V8 Vantage. Position 4 comes through. That's RDO. But what will Absimo have to do here? Because he was at least partly to blame for the exit of the Aston Martin of Ross Thorne. That is big drama, as now the two foes from earlier in the race come side by side. This is RDO's less favoured corner on the track, but this time nails it on the inside. Maybe that's a new line for RDO. Completes the move. Absimo on softs, RDO on the medium tyres, and RDO goes through pretty comfortably there. Not only is he on worse tyres, but he's on heavier fuel load as well. Ross Thorne, he has recovered, thankfully, recovered the car, and he's in 4th place, but he has lost a good near 6 seconds to Absimo, unfortunately there. I can't tell you exactly whether Absimo will feel he was at fault. I imagine he doesn't feel that way. So maybe one for the stewards to look into, although it is a standalone race. This is not a championship point scoring race, this one. But I would have thought Ross would be feeling a little bit miffed in the car there. Oh, and maybe Absimo is slowing. I think he is. I think he's slowing to release. I don't know if we've got live stewards in party chat or anything that are saying, okay, that was your fault, let the driver behind go. But Absimo has lost a lot of time. I don't know if that is deliberate. Was it? Is he allowing Ross back through? Time will tell. And there's the mangled mess of the Mazda Atenza at the front 2 corners. Yeah, he is pulling aside and letting the Aston Martin through. He's going to wait almost an entire lap to let him through, and let's hope we don't have the same problem again. Around we go. He managed to duck out of the throttle right at the very top speed. Ross pulls back across the circuit. No contact this time through the chase, and the chase will be back on for Absimo in 4th to try and get this 3rd place back cleanly this time. It is correct sportsmanship, absolutely. Reaper happy with that. That's all he can do to give the place back to Ross and give up a place to RDO, of course, up the road. has a slightly easier job of it now. Let's see. I don't think that this battle is done and dusted between 3rd and 4th place. These are tense times in the cockpit now. That's 62 of 80. Ross getting really good track positioning here. Very, very, very consistent lap times. Apart from that one with the incident on the previous lap, his lap times have been metronomic. Really very impressive stuff. Very smooth in this V8 Vantage as well. I can tell you we are just £20 away from hitting our target. Please, if you can, give generously, give whatever you can. Just £20 remain of our target tonight to hit for the Mind charity. I would love it if we could hit that before the end of proceedings, but please encourage anyone in your house or your network circle to tune in and just give £1 if you can. That'd be awesome. Here they go then, side by side. The Mazda trying to pull up alongside the Aston Martin's top speed. Ross positions the car slightly towards the middle of the circuit. Into the chase we go again, and the Mazda tucking in, can't get the job done on the brakes. He's going to have to choose a different part of the circuit, I think, but he's staying with him towards Murray's corner. Steps out into the inside, brakes incredibly late. Well, is it too late? It is too late. Way out onto the grass and into the gravel. And another attempt made by Absamo. Went for the inside. That closing speed just looked way too strong, didn't it? He was always going to go wide. As Shooter Steve says, Ross is on half-1 mediums at this point, and Absamo's just put a heck of a lot more wear into those tyres as well. So yeah, not ideal for him. I'm going to stop saying Absamo. It is Abmo, isn't it? Because I can see it on the side of his car, his nickname. Coming up behind him, 5th place, Andy Winters in the Lamborghini Huracan. Slowly bringing himself into this battle as well. He's in a similar tyre situation to Ross. Mid-stint on the mediums, maybe just past midway on his mediums. Let's have a look at RDO's rate of wear and tyre usage. Here he is. These are, what, just the cars crossing the line. Mighty Iggy still holds the fastest lap, 2:12.787 on lap 63. He still is on the soft tyres. Just playing around with the strategy a little bit. Seems to like these softs. He's been on them a fair amount tonight. So your order on lap 63, Iggy from RDO, from Rosthorn. Abmo is in 4th place, then Andy Winters in 5th in the Lamborghini. He is nearly 2 minutes off the leader. 2 minutes and 5 off the leader. In 6th place, Renault Kin in this pink, gold and white Dodge Viper. 7th place belongs at the moment to Bo. He is 2 minutes and 8 away from the lead, so almost a lap now for Bo, and he's not picking up blue flags just yet, but he's almost that off there. Well, Reaperdo says we hit £1,000. Let me just check on my readout, but I'm sure Reaper is correct. Absolutely, we have received our final little bit. 100% of our target has been received, and that is because of a gift from Reaper himself. Tremendous stuff. Thank you, Reaper. Great to see that we've hit that target. Brilliant stuff. Let's celebrate, and hopefully some more money will roll in as the laps tick off at the end of the race here. That's tremendous. Brilliant to have everybody celebrate as well. Fantastic stuff. Right, to continue the order, it is 8th for Jay O'Leary, 9th for Lego Man, who is currently about to lose that 9th place here to the Mercedes. Oh, tries to close the door. They go side by side. The Mercedes did have the corner there under braking, but a little bit of paint trading going on as they now go up the mountain straight towards Griffin's Bend. The Bugatti on the inside has the good top speed. Will he give enough room on the outside to the Mercedes? He's currently fully across the middle of the track. Mercedes stuck on the outside. No, as the Bugatti manages to hold on. That is Lego Man holding on to 9th, temporarily losing it for a moment there, but back on it again. So Lego Man 9th. Major is in 10th and in the Mercedes. He was one of the people who gifted for us for the Mine charity. Then there's Pyro is in 11th place in the Nissan. We saw him spinning earlier on, but he's got a good view of this battle between Major and Lego Man. Little Sheepy in 12th. Oh, a 4.5 second penalty is harsh. Going down the Conrod straight, that's going to hurt. He's actually on the mountain straight at the moment, so he's got to drive the whole lap yet. Lego Man, our rearmost driver, sorry, Lego IG88, our rearmost driver here in the TRG86, but I'm keen to go back up to actual Lego Man against Major here. Nocturne, very happy, as everyone else is, to say that we reached our target. Brilliant stuff. And props to all the guys here at Aero League Racing and everyone watching who has generously given. But if you were waiting to give and haven't done yet, please do. Iggy's in the pits. These two are going at it once again. Lego Man not giving the inside line to the Mercedes. Slightly compromised line now, but he's managing to hold on pretty well. Oh, a little bit of contact as the Bugatti slow through the final Murray's corner, and then the nose of the Mercedes getting a bit bent. Running in, he's gone for the inside. He's not got the overlap, and he's going to be joined by Pyro. Not only that, but out of the pits right now comes Iggy, who's going to have to pass these three shortly. They're given blue flags, even though they are actually technically faster on the circuit at the moment. They're not willing to give up the place at this time to Iggy. They're too busy battling because Iggy wasn't at the same top speed coming out of the pits. That is a quirk of the track design, that you run for so long off out your pit lane. Here is the blue flag being given. I imagine they will wait till the last possible moment, or at least the most convenient moment. As did it look like Major was moving aside, at least to Iggy? That might have looked like an indication he was moving aside. It was actually throttle oversteer for a moment there from the Mercedes, and Iggy not able to get through. There's another yellow flag then for the two in front, 9th and 10th places. Iggy fuming in the cockpit here. Move over. This is his race. Oh, all the way sideways goes the Mercedes, trying to stay tucked in. He's going to try and hold on to his position against the car of Pyro behind, but you saw him get really, really sideways there. Iggy didn't need a second invitation to come on through. In fact, Iggy getting a little sideways himself, coming through the Forest Elbow. There we go then. Iggy's next one is going to be Lego Man in front. Major, instead of fighting with the Bugatti of Lego Man, is fighting with Pyro from behind here in the Nissan. Yeah, the Mercedes really, really struggling. I wanted to check his tyre wear, but it looks okay. Looks like he's got grip for days. It's just maybe let his temperatures get a little bit hot. Possibly fatigue setting in here. There he is, back again. And he's dropped back behind Pyro now. All the work to do. We saw Iggy being released from Lego Man. And in fact, Legerman having a bit of a problem going through Hell Corner at turn number 1 as well. He's now being challenged by Pyro. Very similar liveries, inspired by the Mind Charity colour scheme. Running all the way round the outside of the circuit goes Pyro to make the overtake. Then he gave the places back again, and the Bugatti holds on. So Legerman in 9th place, hanging on here. We've got Major back past the Nissan of Pyro. It's getting very, very tasty. Reaper asked if I happened to see Pyro spinning earlier. I have seen him spin, but I don't think it was while you were still with us. I think he had a subsequent spin in the dipper section, down on the downhill section here, before Forest Elbow. I think that's where I saw him spin earlier on. It was in amongst other cars, so I think there might have been another one. Mercedes still looking very, very leery, but quick in comparison to the Bugatti. Bugatti was all out of shape going through the chase towards the end of the lap here. Hangs on once again, even though the Mercedes had the nose ahead. Round the outside, racing room given, that's nice and fair. Bugatti didn't waste time running the Mercedes to the outside. Legerman managed to get down on the power with a good line through the corner, even though he didn't use the full width of the exit. Photographer just looking at his camera there. Well, Pyro trying to go around the outside here, trying to get 2 for 1. He might well do it as they approach the cutting. Pyro has got a good track position, managed to keep his nose ahead. Great move from Pyro, picking up 2 places there in a single sector. It's a lot more like it. They may have been lapped, these guys, but they are still racing incredibly hard. Great move from Pyro to get both Legerman and Major. Major's got to be wondering quite what he's got to do to get him. Nasty downshift there from the Mercedes. Oh, the Bugatti all over the road. What could the Mercedes do about it? Not a lot, honestly. He gets his nose ahead. I don't think that was really Major's fault, that contact. That was down to the fact that Legerman made a mistake coming out of the corner and just edging him out the track. There's nowhere you can really go. When you really start to think about it, drivers put so much trust in the drivers around them that they won't make a mistake. That of course the one time in, I don't know, 1 time in 50 that they do make a mistake, you're already programmed just to mash the throttle. Bugatti into the pits then, Legerman coming in, not happy with the state of the car, but Pyro and Major will carry on this battle. So Legerman into the pits, hoping to get the undercut ahead of these two. That was a speculative move from Major there in the Mercedes, trying to get the nose in, but Pyro was equal to it. He's actually racing with a poppy on the front bonnet there. Sorry, the air intake section is pyro. I can just see the flash of a remembering to stay poppy, I think. It's a classy move from him. Must be so hard to race like this when you've got no driver around you. I think when you have got a driver that you're hunting or having behind you like this, it really helps with the focus. Oh, talk about focus. There was Bo. He was being chased down by Renault King, but Bo has made a mistake at the highest point of the circuit, right up at the skyline, turn 11. And thankfully the car had ghosted by the time that Renault King and Iggy got through. So Iggy, now there's first place Alpha flashing through. Iggy has lapped everyone up to 7th position. Shortly that will be 6th position, and this is going to hurt Renault King because he was right up there at the start of this race. But I guess it helps solidify in your mind that you didn't have the pace on the day. If you've been lapped, you kind of think, well, it was never my day anyway. I don't know, maybe I'm just putting words in the driver's mouths there, but I guess you can kind of end all thoughts that you were a contender for the win if the winner ends up lapping you. Iggy then starts his lap 70 of 80. We're on the home stretch, folks. I really hope you have been able to stay with us all the way through the evening. Reaper says he's not surprised that Iggy is lapping people. He's unreal with his pace. Yeah, I know he is. He was a hot favourite, but for me, I was super surprised that he qualified as low as he did. Then, and there is a penalty being taken by a back marker who is being lapped by Andy Winters, I believe. No, it's not a back marker, it's actually Avmo, who has got a tremendous penalty on the car. That must have been quite a bit of wall riding. I don't think it would just be corner cut in the first 2 sectors that would cause a 4.5 second penalty. Let's look at the closing speed then. Lamborghini Huracan versus Mazda Atenza. Off throttle. He's off throttle now. Okay. Andy Winters was very confident that ghosting would work. And got every ounce of slipstream possible. And Reaper says, shame he was closing it on RDO after the pit stop. Oh, too much apex curve from the Lamborghini, and we've seen that a number of times tonight. Lamborghini riding very stiff and very low, and Andy Winters wanting to grab way more apex than is ideal. Certainly that this car will accept. So Andy Winters currently 3rd place, on for a podium at the moment. He's on soft tyres though, so will be heated to the end. How is RDO doing? He's halfway through his stint on the mediums. I think he might be trying to get to the end. But if he decides that the car won't make it, then he'll definitely pit for softs soon enough. And then we will get, now we're at the tail end of the race, I think we'll get some attempts. There's a yellow flag on the circuit for RDO. Here it is. Is there a car going slowly? There is a car immediately ahead on the track map. Let's see who that was. Whoever it was has picked up the pace again. They're just ahead. You can see them. So, not entirely sure which driver that was. Oh, there we go. It would have been Lego YG. There's the yellow flag for RDO. RDO is 1 minute 22 off the pace of the leader, but 39 seconds almost to the good. from the car behind. Now that is going to be costly with a pit stop there, if he needed to take one. Andy Winters will not. He will run these tyres to the end. He'll hope he's got fuel for the end, and he's picked up a personal best as well in this sector, as well as a personal best lap last time round. So despite those issues on apexes, on apex curbs, we're seeing the fastest time he's set so far. Unfortunately, it's nearly 2 seconds slower than Iggy has managed tonight. Is Iggy on the softs? He is on newish softs. I'm pretty confident he'll get to the end on those as well. So about a quarter of the tank left for the final 10 laps, it seems. The drivers. It's about the order of the day. Ross in 4th. He's got hard tyres on for these final 10 laps, maybe. Could be the only time he's used them, but it's an unusual choice across the grid to use for the final 10 laps of the race. Abmo on the soft tyres. It says he's closing in fast. Yeah, well, 3.3 seconds. I'll keep my eye on that gap. But Abmo, 5th place, has an Alfa Romeo of Iggy coming up behind him. Iggy has lapped up to and including 6th place. Just hit the wall there. Just rubbed on the wall. Didn't really hit in a big way, but he rubbed the wall. King in 6th. He's just been lapped, and he put in a personal best lap, 2:13.877 that time round. And we have Bo. Oh, Renneking off, wide, coming through. I think that was Frog Hollow. He's just coming through. Going to try and get the place back, but Bo has got him. Oh, lovely drift in the Lexus from Bo. Not much the Viper can do to get past him at that stage of the circuit, but the Genesis behind of Jay O'Leary catching fast. Reaper says, any chance of me coming back to comms full time? Yeah, I would say there probably is a good chance. Let's talk about it, shall we? Let's talk about my availability. It won't be Wednesdays, I can tell you that, Rich. At the moment, I'm already booked twice on a Wednesday. But anyway, P6 for Bo, P7 now Renault King, and P8 for Jay O'Leary. You can see Bo is going to struggle on those soft tyres to the end, I think. That's a big ask to get those tyres to the end. Renault King has better grip at the moment on the outside. Of course, it was his mistake in the mountain section. Twisty mountain section the last time through Frog Hollow that caused him to drop behind Bo, and then just catching them is Jay O'Leary in the Hyundai Genesis. So will Renault King launch a move here? He's on the outside going into Griffin's Bend. You've got to be more than alongside on the outside to stick it there, and it doesn't quite work out. He's got mirrors absolutely full of Hyundai Genesis. Certainly getting greedy now, getting pretty desperate here. He's not happy with the pace of the car in front. You can see he ran 4 seconds slower that last lap to the one before it. I'm saying Abmo on Ross, that is very tasty as well. As they pick up, is that picking up blue flags, or have they dealt with the blue flag already? I'm not seeing, maybe they have got the blue flag behind. That's dropped back slightly. Let's have a quick look at Renault King. It's a 3-way battle here. It's great, it's really great. Oh look, Bo has got a penalty. Too much defending work. He's got a second off throttle then, down Comrade straight. So these two will easily get past there. Let's see. if Abmo is going to be able to launch a better move here. Through the chase they go. What about Renneking and Joe Leary? Look at the distance they put on Bo. That's huge. They have got the blue flag here, P4, P5 and P4, but they'll ignore it for a while because Iggy is some distance behind them. That is early for the blue flag, in my opinion. Abmo looking for the grip out of the corner, and he gets it against Ross here. Well, it's hard tyres versus soft. This should be candy from a baby, honestly, and possibly if Ross decides to try and stay with him, he might get him later at the end of this stint. Ross says, you can go around the outside, my friend. I'm not going to make it super easy for you. We're really into the end of this race now. There's nothing Ross can do as Abmo goes around the outside. He's now got the inside for the cutting, and successfully, oh, he's missed the apex though, and he rubs the wall. Ross will have a good drive out of the cutting and through Quarry Corner. There's not much room here, but they're going to try it. Now Ross has had to give up track position, and that gives up crucial meters on the on throttle moments. He runs super wide through Frog Hollow. Really great racing, these guys, so far. We're down to 7 laps to go. 7 to go, folks. Nocturne says the race is really heating up. Have they just been playing with us? They just, or is this just a recognition of how much this matters to them? Shooter Steve says, great battle to watch as well. Yeah, we're enjoying it. We're all enjoying it. And soon enough, Iggy's going to be enjoying it in front of him as well. So they're cutting into Andy's time. Well, yeah, good shout on that one. That gap down to the podium is now 6.8 seconds. Andy Winters on soft tyres, managing his tyre usage now. He's into that kind of phase. The Mazda, will he have fuel to the end? I think so. They're on roughly equal fuel, these cars, at this stage. Reminder, if you don't mind me just saying, make sure you've considered whether you've got any money to spare to give to our charity tonight. The link has just come up in the live chat. We would love to accept your gift. We will have it matched as well, so whatever you give will be doubled by our corporate sponsor. Unfortunately, I do not yet. Looks like the Mazda just able to hold on at this stage. The underlying lack of pace in the hard tyre shod Aston Martin is really starting to show. I think it's the case that Ross left his worst tyre stint for his last 10 laps. It seems so. He may be ruining that decision. He may quite equally be quite happy with 5th place. He's going to have to let Iggy by any minute. Well, that's one way to do it. Wiping out our floor-mounted camera. And Reaper says, faster sector 1 from Abmo. So, Iggy's dropped the bar again on the fastest lap to a 2:12.653. Having a lot of fun out there is Iggy. So that is 6.5 seconds to Andy Winters for Abmo's challenge. Iggy, 1:35 ahead of 2nd place. I think he'll be looking at 3rd place hungrily and thinking, I think I could lap someone on the podium, and that would be incredible. I know we're racing for 500 kilometers and 80 laps, but still, that's quite an achievement, isn't it? Just a reminder, we have hit our target tonight, but that doesn't mean that we have to stop. We have stop asking for donations. We would love to smash that target. So thank you for every single donation you've given so far. Looks like Renault King might be on the hunt here. He's on soft tyres. He's got 5 laps to go on those soft tyres. He'll be reaching the end of their usefulness by the time he gets there, but he might well get Ross Thorne. 2.9 seconds his gap. Jay O'Leary wouldn't mind a place gained or 2 as well, looking at those positions. Bo's still looking quite leery out there, and that's nothing to do with Joe O'Leary in front, but no, he's getting very, very loose. His Bo trying to make this work to the end of the race without stopping again. But those soft tyres will be shredded by the time he gets there. Yeah, Reaper saying Admiral was sub 6 seconds, but at this rate, he's not sure he's going to get there. He'll try, I'm sure. I mean, the closer he gets, the more pressure on the car in front. We're nearing 200 comments, folks. I don't know which one of you will get that 200th comment, but fire it now. I know we've got some ad revenue because I've had to watch some ads on the stream tonight, so hopefully that will go towards mine, so that will increase what we give to the charity tonight. That's my alternate device stream here, so I can't see anything. So it is 5.6 seconds, that gap between 3rd and 4th place. Similar gap 4th to 5th. So Admo definitely on the pace, but really I think the man most likely at the moment is Renault King. Reaper saying that Admo was his teammate a few seasons ago. Great driver. Yeah, he's great on F1 and on this game. That's really cool, isn't it? I mean, splitting your time between 2 games is extra difficult. Very, very different handling models. There's Iggy getting very close to the barriers. Still having fun, Iggy. 2 minutes 12.653. Reaper says this season was Admo's first in GT, first in Gran Turismo. Wow, excellent. Renault King just rubbing the wall there. That will invite Jay O'Leary to have a go. Down the hill once again. Long wheelbase Dodge Viper looks a real handful coming through the corners. Making it work. Are we losing the light again? It does look like the sun is starting to set for the 2nd time in our race tonight. We are nearing now 3 hours long this stream. That seems to have flown by, but my voice is feeling it. At this point, solo commentating this 3 hours endurance race. So 4 to go, 4 laps to go, and Dodge Viper of Renault King now 0.6 of a second away from Ross Thorne. Ross, remember, on the hard tyres, and Renault King on the softs, so it couldn't be more different. But Renault King's got to balance his wear rate here. He's getting dangerously close to dropping performance, and this will come back to Ross. I think at the end of the stint he will have more grip on the hards. We did hear from RDO, one of his pit stops, saying they're horrible tyres. Reaper says thank you. Well, no, you're welcome. It's been a lot of fun. enjoy trying new things. A 3-hour-long stream is definitely a new thing. So there you go. Joe Leary still knocking on the door here. This is the battle over 5th place, don't forget. Tremendous stuff. Let's check in on Abmo. He's 5 seconds, just under 5 seconds behind Andy Winters for this podium. I think they will be absolutely exhausted at the end of this one. I just sat here yapping away. They've been cranking the steering wheel or bending the thumbs in the case of Iggy. Abmo's gap 3.6 seconds. It's on. I think it's on for the podium at the end. Andy Winters running out of tyres at a greater rate here, but Abmo's going to have to start thinking about fuel management by the look of things. He's into the red. Ross, though, has got Renner King right behind him. The Viper looks to the outside as they head down Comrod into the chase. I think Renner King has got the car balanced well enough, uses the apex curb and through with 3 laps to go. Renner King takes 5th place from Ross Thorne. And we've got Jay O'Leary be wanting to get on his way through. And we are getting sunset again. I think we may even get, because it's blink and you miss it, the sunset. I think we're going to finish in the dark by the look of things. As Reaper says, the majority of the drivers are on wheel, but we don't know. We haven't checked in with every single one of them. And yeah, pink, purple sunset. It's actually a different sunset condition to what we saw earlier on. So that move is complete. Ross holding on as much as possible to the back of Renner King. Just have a quick look at Abmo. 2.9 seconds, 2 laps to go. And that is Iggy still about to lap, I should say. Abmo for 4th. But whether he manages to get through, the blue flags are waving for Abmo, but he hasn't gone through yet. That's going to slow down his hunt for this podium. He needs to give it up and then follow through if he can. Brennians tunes in to say nearly there, absolutely. Sketch says they'll be sleeping well tonight. There we go. I think, was that Abmo releasing? No, it wasn't. Wow, look how close he is now. But he still hasn't let Iggy through. I'd say this is really on. The pressure on the Huracan. But he's got a little bit more fuel. He's got hardly any tyres left here, the Huracan. And just to add into the complexity, we've got Iggy behind. Catching. Just waving that front left is the Mazda. They are going for it. Unfortunately, Twitch live stream has managed to tamper Reaper's use of caps. Here comes Iggy then. Is he gonna be let through? Iggy gets to top speed, tries to get the slipstream. Abmo isn't really making this easy. Stamps on the brakes, through they go. Now he does on the outside, gives up the inside, and that is potentially just allowing Andy Winters that momentary pause, who now has his own impetus. He's got to have to give the track up to Iggy coming through. Where's Renner King? He's settled into that 5th place now. Of course, a last lap penalty could apply to some of the drivers and mess them out and mess up their bid for a podium potentially. Andy Winters. We will have Iggy behind him. Oh, is that offline for Andy Winters? Slightly heading into the dipper. Yeah, how much ahead is Iggy, says Jitsi. Iggy is about to lap third place. Here he is. Andy Winters in third in the Lamborghini Huracan. And Iggy in the Alfa Romeo in first, about to lap one of the podium positions. When does Andy Winters release the throttle here? Because whatever he does to give up a place to Iggy, he will give up a place. He'll give up so much position and time to the Mazda behind. I would have perhaps considered letting him through on the brakes there into the chase, but it will be towards Murray's corner they go next. Maybe that is a smarter decision. No penalties on the car at this stage. Iggy crosses the line to win. Iggy wins. Forgive me. Yes, Iggy wins the Bathurst 500 and completes a tremendous performance. He didn't quite lap third place, so the podium remain on the lead lap, thankfully. Abmo will not be able to challenge because he had been lapped, so that secures our podium. Andy Winters did well there to not let the leader through, because he would have ended up giving that one up, potentially being vulnerable. So holding track position paid off for Andy Winters. The rest of the positions are settled. RDO is coming into the highest point of the circuit now, so Abmo in fourth place is secured in fourth. Renault King gets fifth place after dropping all the way back in the first couple of laps. Ross Storm secures second in the Aston Martin, then Jay O'Leary in seventh, Bo in 8th place. We have Major in 9th. Pyro secures 10th in the pitch black now. As I said, it's going to go like a light switch sunset here. Pyro in 10th. Legoman in 11th. Lil Sheepy hasn't officially crossed the line to finish yet, but I think he will. Little Sheepy in 12th. And then Lego IG88, the rearmost driver. Special mention to S Boomer and to Reaper, who dropped out but were with us at the start. Here comes RDO about to cross the line, and that will secure all of our finishing positions. RDO with a second place after 80 laps and 500 kilometers of racing. This has been the Mind Charity endurance race for Aero League Racing. I have been Webbo at Webbo Red 5 on socials, and please give generously to our worthy cause. But from me, Webbo, and from everybody here at Aero League Racing, we thank you for your company, and we will catch you on the next race day.